It's time for a motivational quote for today, and this quote is by a popular writer. I'm sure all of us who went to SHS here in Ghana or even did literature would be very, very acquainted with him, and this is by Ernest Hemingway. So if you don't know Ernest Hemingway, I'm sure when you remember The Old Man and the Sea, yes, the name comes to mind. Now, this quote by him, it says, "Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another." Now, this quote here is trying to just emphasize that while death is a universal experience, the unique details of an individual's life, like their experiences, their choices, their values, and accomplishments, define their distinctiveness and sets them apart. So the way you lived your life is what's going to set you apart from the next person, because we know how death is inevitable. Now, what sets one apart from the other is how they live, the impacts they made, the legacy they left behind. And rather than the inevitability of death itself, we need to be focused on what exactly you did with your life while you were here. Now, this perspective also encourages us to focus on living authentically, be your truest self, and make the most of your time. Now, I want to touch a little bit on how, the man dies. And it's not necessarily about whether he died by a gunshot or died, with old age, but rather, did that man die with regrets? Did he die full of regrets, sadness, or he died accomplished, at peace with all their loved ones with them, as a very good parent, as a very terrible parent, as a very terrible friend? Did you die with regrets on how to be, or you should have been a very good friend or a better friend to somebody? You should have spoken up more for others, the weak and vulnerable in life. These are some of the things we need to think about to make our lives and our legacy that we leave behind worth something. And I hope that this quote has inspired you to live your life to the fullest today. Next is the online news review with my co-host, and we'll be right back.
To add all those test pots like application to something like this. Yes. Oh, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's going to be able to draw a level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
Closer says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not Closer speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of Clockside versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Tan Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
You're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show. We're about to have our online print review, and I have with me here my two co-hosts who will be joining me for today's online review as always. And yes, I would like to remind you all that you can send in your comments, send your trending news to our WhatsApp number displayed onto your screens, or join our Facebook or YouTube live stream and send your comments there also. I will read them aloud for us to hear. So yes, my co-hosts are here, Miriam Abnadede and Peter Nsia. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. Yeah.
How are we doing?
Since God is not dead, we will also not die.
Wow, Peter, it's been a while. Yeah. Where have you been? We're glad to have you back here on the online print review. What's up?
Up and grateful. Divine selection. So, yeah.
So, unlike Mimi, who went to bring Hajia for you from the airport, you're just up and grateful.
Up and grateful.
Right. Okay, so let's go straight into it. What is trending? What's the latest news?
Yaira. You know, Ghana, it's always exciting to be a Ghanaian. I won't lie to you, because there's something trending, especially in Parliament. A new tax has been introduced. I don't know why a lot of people are surprised, because most of us, for me, I was anticipating, you know, something new, like a new tax, because there have been a lot of taxes scrapped off. There have been reductions in prices. The city is doing so well, and yet we have debts to pay. And so an introduction of a new tax will not be a problem at all. So I wasn't surprised when I heard of this.
Why wouldn't it be a problem?
So yeah, let me just talk about the tax and then.
Okay.
So it is called the petroleum tax, which is going to be 1 Ghana cedis on all petroleum products. And so if you buy for a liter of fuel or diesel, you pay an extra 1 cedi. So if the price of fuel is, let's say, a liter is 17 Ghana cedis, you are going to be paying 18 Ghana cedis. So if you buy 10,000 liters, you should do the calculations. And this has got a lot of people, you know, talking, especially with the minority. Yesterday, they were like, you said you were not going to introduce any levy at all, so you scrapped off e-levy. Why are you introducing a new levy? You've deceived Ghanaians, especially the minority leader. It was like, you deceived Ghanaians. And so, yeah, a lot of people were also sharing their concerns. You know, Clog News, we went out to speak to some drivers about it. And some of them were like, oh, it's a step in the right direction, because looking at how the fuel prices have been reduced, and if we are being asked to pay 1 Ghana cedis, it's better as compared to the previous government where fuel prices kept increasing, yet fair prices were just, you know, static. And so they think it's okay. It's a way of supporting government.
Right. So what is the reason for the introduction of this new tax?
Right. So, you know, the electricity, the energy sector has a lot of debt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say incurred by the previous government, but we have debts to pay. So this levy is just basically to support the energy sector. No doomsday crisis we've been facing. So they are proposing, or they've proposed this levy to, you know, accumulate some funds to support that sector.
Okay. So the best avenue to get this kind of fund is from the petroleum.
Yeah, according to the finance minister. I don't know if Peter has something to say about it.
Yes, the businessman. I mean, you should be giving us all the details we need today.
So I also want to touch on it. Very interested. And my question remains one. So what if the dollar increases again? Where is its sustainability? And then also, so let me put it in this way. Assuming I sell pure water, before you can get the pure water, you pay, and I give it to you. So what if I run at a loss and I come to you to pay that debt? Would you pay?
Well, staying on Peter's second question, I think it boils down to our attitude as Ghanaians. You know, the attitude of, because I'm not the one doing it, I'll not report the person, is what has led us to this point. We saw a lot of people doing illegal connections. We saw a lot of people doing so many things that, you know, incurred these debts. We didn't do anything about it. ECG has been in debt for so many years, and
the debt keeps rising.
You get it, and we don't even question them. So it is our attitude that has brought us this far.
So it shouldn't be so, because I remember somewhere last 2 months, we were talking about the death of Koko. And then it's like when some kind of form of mismanagement takes place, it is the ordinary Ghanaian who suffer. Because the amount of money that goes into this energy something. Now let me read something here. So according to the finance minister, the energy sector debt currently is at 3.1 billion, and $3.7 billion is required to clear the arrears. And now this new tax, this new levy, is expected to generate an additional 5.7 billion Ghana cedis in revenue to help reduce energy sector debts to support stable power supply. May I have an issue?
Let's hear your issue.
So the issue was that if we still have the people who manage this energy sector and a whole lot. I don't know if you all remember ESLA. It was established in 2015. It also has a different purpose as a way to generate money to support the energy sector. From 2015 till date, we've not recorded any form of profit and all that. Right now, we are here looking for money to also service the debt of ECG. And now we are relying on the ordinary Ghanaian to pay.
Yeah.
Because like people will say 1 cedi is just 1 cedi, it's not an amount. But then a typical small car, let's take Picanto, those small cars.
Yes.
So it takes about 5 to 6 liters of fuel, and that 5 to 6 liters of fuel can only travel 100 kilometers. So imagine you stay at some Kaswa Botano and you yes, Pokwasi. So imagine, and so let's say like Impaluta said, you have a lot of responsibilities. So you don't want to die. So your speed limit is 50, like 50. So with that 50, if you calculate that 50, you can use 2 hours to, exhaust that 100 kilometers. And so with that 100 kilometers, it's just in. And then so let's assume that you are buying 6 liters. That is 6 cedis. So in and out is going to be 12 liters. And so let's calculate it by 1 month. So we have 4 working days. Sorry, 5 working days. So
and then maybe we can Uber here and there.
You understand? And so when you multiply the ordinary Ghanaian, the private owner, the one who with a private car is spending about 2,880 on fuel. And then so you multiply So when you subtract like that 1 cedi from it, it's a huge amount. You understand? And then now that Ghanaians are kind of happy because of the cedi appreciation and then transport fares being scrapped, off and all that. Reduced. Ghanaians are happy. Why another,
Yeah,
form?
but I also think that since this levy is to try to offset some of the debts incurred, why don't they rather introduce it for just a couple of months? You see, initially the e-levy too, they said they were going to use it to generate funds for 1 or 2 things, and then it became something that just continued, and we didn't see anything. But if this government probably wants to learn from the previous government, maybe introduce this levy for 6 months. Let's see how much revenue has been generated, how much of it can be used to get to pay off all these debts, and then if there's any surplus, then it can be channeled into something else, and then we have it scrapped. So Ghanaians will not have to be aggrieved by the fact that they are paying so much to offset ECG's debt. And then I also saw, just like you said, people are talking about it. Some people are also concerned that this will affect transport fares.
Exactly.
Some people are also concerned about the fact that the minority in parliament that is speaking about it, some key figures played quite significant roles in what's happening at ECG now, and now it's basically rich of them to come out to make certain statements, knowing that this is the kind of mess they've left for this government to come and try to clean up. And then there's also another concern that this government is setting up so many free things. University, the first years are going to be having their school fees given back to them, especially those who have paid and all of that. And all these things are on the government's shoulders. And then they are now bringing another levy. Is it that they are trying to use that as a way to get through that? Or these are some of the things that they should rather scrap and then be able to focus on their debts, so that if they reduce the freebies, then the pressure would also reduce on them. If I don't know, these are some of the things I saw online.
Yeah, I think you have a point, but you see, they made mention of the fact that I think Peter even re-emphasized that they are going to raise 5.7 billion annually. So with your first point, as today giving us a time frame, they said annually. So for the first year, we are hoping that the 5.7 billion will be raised. So that the reason they gave to us that they are going to support the energy sector, we see if that money is indeed going to be used for that. But as to scrapping off some of the basic policies they set for us, like free tertiary, secondary, and other things, don't forget that these are the things that a lot of people vote to
also, No, I'm just mentioning that these are some of the things I saw online, that these are the parallels being drawn, that you've come that so many things are going to be free, scrapped off some of these levies, and you've brought another levy. So then are you not literally the same as the governments before?
But this time around, they've told us what they are going to use the money for. E-levy, we didn't see what they used it for.
So Peter, I want to ask you, you said ECG's debt is how much?
ECG's debt is 3.1 billion.
3.1 billion, and we're expected to generate about
5.7 billion
in the first year, right? So assuming between now and next year, ECG's debt accumulates a little more, hopefully just about 1 million extra, and we get that 5.7 billion dollars, sorry. What will happen when they use? It's more than 2/3 of the $5.7 that they are going to use to offset the cost. What happens next? Oh, that one, they didn't say anything about it.
But then that's why I also have a problem, and I think that there were no stakeholder engagements to actually come up. And then I also feel that the 1 cedi is too much. At least they could have started from 50 pesos. So as time goes on, like you said, as time progresses, they get to know how it is doing and how to, distribute the money and all that. And so starting from 1 Ghana cedi is something they have to consider.
I think 1 cedi is okay. It's okay because even now, pure water, a sachet of pure water is 50 pesos.
Now you can't use beyond 50 pesos for anything.
Those that said they are not going to reduce their fare prices, as at now, there are some short drivers and mates still charging the old price. So it's still the same thing. Don't reduce it. Let us all pay the old prices so that you pay your 1 Ghana cedis.
But then the issue was to ease the burden on Ghanaians. That's why they scrapped all these taxes. And then, like you rightly said, for them to bring another one again, it is going to affect the petroleum consumers. So, for instance, it was recently that the GPRTU scrapped off 15% of transport fares. What if they come back to say that, okay, because of that 1 cedi, it is affecting them, so they want to add up? It will be a problem.
That reminds me, one driver even said, okay, so the increment, the tax, they reduced it by 4%. Now you asked us to, reduce fares by 15%. They've not complained. Now you've added 1 Ghana cedi.
They've not complained.
Now I'm just saying that they didn't really...
They complained. Even this morning, some people are arguing in the church.
Now you've added 1 Ghana cedi. It's the ordinary Ghanaian that will suffer. You and I.
Yeah.
So my last comment on this. So my question still remains. If the cedi, depreciates again,
what happens?
Are they going to scrap it off, reduce it, increase, or what will happen? That's my question.
I genuinely believe that if this government is going to learn anything from the previous government in the sense of these levies being introduced and telling us that they are going to use it for something, we should see it. And then it should be for a limited period of time. Because one thing that, made the other government lose a lot of love was the number of taxes and then the amount. So yes, 1 cedi, because look at how e-levy made Momo become something. It was almost cumbersome to use Momo because every small thing add the charges, and these charges too are accumulating, because sometimes you make a transaction and your bank is already charging you, now Momo is charging you, then the e-levy is also coming, and these were all things that we were not happy about, especially for the fact that Ghanaians came out to say that we do not want this, and as a democracy you're supposed to listen to people, but they didn't. So if this truly, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are going to do something with this money and help us for a time frame, then we should limit it to maybe that 1 year. If they don't reach their goal because ECG has incurred more debt, then maybe they extend some 6 months and try to pay off everything and free us from this everyday levy.
So
because now they're calling it D-levy.
Yeah, E is gone, so D. Well, I think President Mahama also addressed this issue yesterday, and he mentioned that the increment is not directly going to be felt immediately at the pumps. So if you're going to buy for, it's not like you have to pay like 1 Ghana cedis. It will take some time, and so they are still trying to work things out. But staying on the cedi appreciation, it's still a trending story actually. So President Mahama is saying that letting the cedi reach 4 to $1 would hurt exports or exporters, and so he believes that we should let it remain between 10 to 12 Ghana cedis, to $1, so that it doesn't affect exports and exporters, because there are so many people that trade in dollars, and this cedi appreciation is in a way affecting them. There are schools that operate in dollars, those kind of things. He's just being a president thinking for everyone. So he is saying that letting the cedi drop to 4 Ghana cedis will not really help.
So, but something like this, countries like Great Britain, the hegemons of the world, are they making these kinds of statements about their currencies, especially with these small trade wars here and there? There used to be a time where the cedi and the dollar probably were close, around maybe the 4 cedis, and now we've gotten to the point where the value of the cedi is so poor. So saying this is like, why shouldn't we rather strive to get to the same levels as these hegemons and trade where we can also now make dictations? But now we are trying to say, it's almost like let's stay low for them to be high.
No, not really. I think, it's a progressive thing. You need to take your time. Look at the rate at which the cedi is dropping. Yet there are people dealing with, exports and other things. Ghana is even one of the countries that exports a lot of goods. It is going to affect our, economy in a way. And
I understand that, yes, we do have some trade deficits here and there, but the point is, imagine $1 is to a cedi now. And yes, you are exporting, you've added more value to your goods. Of course, you're going to make quite a substantial amount of money, as opposed to when the cedi is of a lower value.
Let's hear from the finance.
Yes, finance, take us away, please.
So I think I said with maybe I feel that because we are a developing country, we can't just compare ourselves to.
No, it is the reality.
A whole lot of things come to play. So we
now we are adding 1 Ghana cedi and you are complaining. Just 1 Ghana cedi.
Just one.
No,
cedi.
so you have to take your time. You don't just do things like that.
Right. Okay, let's hear from Peter. Peter,
But
please help us.
Accountability is very important. Yeah. So like I rightly said, we are a developing country. We are now putting certain things right, and so we can't compare ourselves to these well-developed countries like the US, the Britain, and then the China. And so like she said, it's one step at a time. So hopefully we'll get there.
Hopefully.
Yes.
But I hope we do get to the 4 or 5 cedis.
And then she made mention of something.
Because you want to buy something from these countries and you look at your account, you look at and now you have to sort of do elimination by rough tactics. I mean, it's good that the cedi is rising. We shouldn't try to stifle it. If it is rising, let it rise.
We are all Ghanaians. So.
Okay, let's take a few comments. HM Joe says, good morning. Good Koko-licious morning, ladies and gentlemen. Someone will also argue that we used to buy fuel at the pump around 16 or 17 cedis. However, we've seen such levies before. TOR levy, COVID levy, etc. What is the forecast of it? Will it be reviewed? When will it be taken out? Asemo Ghana. HM Joe, yeah, that's it. What else is trending before we go to our digitalized newspapers?
Okay, so before I move on to I want to say something that she made mention of. the CD, the CD appreciating, and then, she made mention of fees and dollar. So just I want to find out that right now that the CD is actually doing well. And then we are calling for the reduction in prices of essential goods and all that. Does it affect schools? Like school fees?
To an extent, because if the CD, the dollar remains the same. Let's say $100. As at when the CD was 17 CDs to $1, it remains $100. But let's say now it is 4 CDs to $1. It remains $100, but now you can afford it and have some coins left.
Okay.
So that is where my problem is with the rising
if you're
of the
paying
CD.
your fees in dollars, well, directly
now you
get
can
to
afford
pay
it.
less.
Yes.
But what of other schools that do not deal in dollars? They will still remain the same.
Yes, as far as here in Ghana.
So it's a gain for them, right?
Yes. For those who, it is mostly those who earn in dollars that maybe their money will reduce because, why are we earning in dollars?
You see how
because
calm your voice was when you were talking about them. It's because you don't earn in dollars. If you were earning in dollars, you side with them.
If we want to go down to the root of it, why are people striving to earn in dollars? Because they are seeking greener pastures. But if now our currency is doing better, we will be glad to earn, in cedis, right? We won't, because if
the
now...
The dollar is still the dollar.
Yes, if now the cedi is as strong as the dollar, what will you be looking for the dollar for? That's one thing we also need to think about.
Is smiling. He has a lot of dollars.
Because when the CD started appreciating, I saw posts from people who were earning in dollars actually. But then there were also people who trade who are happy that now they can send money to, in other currencies and they don't have to worry so much about how much they're sending. And so it's a blessing and a curse based on where you stand.
Okay, so my training story today is World Environmental Day.
Okay.
And the global team is Beat Plastic.
Okay.
Beat Plastic Pollution. And then this campaign aims to raise global awareness about the harmful impact of plastic waste on ecosystem, wildlife, and human health. And then this celebration will take place in Korea. Korea is hosting the global celebration. Okay. And this is not their first time. Their first time was in 1997. Mommy said I wasn't born at that time. That was their first time. Under the theme for life on Earth. But here at the national level, we are also celebrating it under the theme Repurposing Plastic Use with the slogan Rethink Plastic Solution, Act Now. And so on the floor of Parliament, as the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology was addressing Parliament, he made mention that today the President will launch the One Child, One Theory initiative in support of Government Flagship 3 for Life program. Yeah, so today it will be happening. And then when you talk about plastic, I just don't want to remind viewers of what transpired, just the 3rd June disaster. But then we all realized that according to findings, it was as a result of, some choke gutters, urbanization and all that. And then plastic happens to take a major part of these, happenings, flooding and all that in Ghana. So I think it is the right thing to do. And then the minister also stated that Ghana generates approximately 840,000 tons of plastic waste annually. And approximately 9.5% of this, this is collected and recycled. So where does the end go? You understand? So it ends up in landfills, drains, water bodies, and even in our food, chains. Yeah, so it's a very serious issue. But then Senator Rollins, the member of Parliament for Korle-Krotey, also made mention of the fact that this has been a part of her, like a concern. And so for the past 1.5 years now, she has collaborated with the University of Ghana to actually set up a pyrolysis at a place at Osu Alata electoral area, where they transform these plastic waste into fuel. And so he called on the minister to, pay them a visit to see what actually transpired there. Also, I wish I can also go there to see what is transpiring, because that place is a fishing community, and then we all know that most of these plastic waste end up in the sea. And so if they've brought up that kind of initiative trying to, turn this plastic waste into fuel, it's a very great thing. It's something we should all rally behind and, you know, support.
All right. So I was having a conversation with somebody about recycling and plastic waste, and I think points were made about the fact that there are people who actually produce, you know, let's say our polythene bags, our bottles, all these plastic materials that we use. And if we decide to, you know, recycle and then shut down these production companies and just keep using the old ones in the system, it means that a percentage of the people or in the industry, whatever industry, the trading industry at that time, will be out of jobs because, you know, I think Ghana, I remember my mom telling me we used to use paper bags, and then plastics were introduced, like rubber bags, and now people have started producing them, and it's all over. So when we are thinking about recycling and trying to limit how much plastic we use, we need to also think about these people who have made a livelihood out of producing these plastics as a way for people to use. Because yes, we are overwhelmed with plastic, but what happens to these people? What is going to be the alternative for them? Should they be, maybe they can be incorporated into the recycling business where they collect in, but then our maintenance culture as Ghanaians.
That's the problem.
Because it is very likely that you go and get maybe, yes, a recycled vaulting bottle, and the kind of things you might see in it, you know, your water is in it, but it's too early. So these are all things we need to think about. You know, it's not just about yes, reducing the plastic, but some of these processes that these things will go through. So when we think about that, we need to also think about the other aspects of it that contributes greatly to it, because as we know, Ghanaians, I think we've even seen those people who start producing pure water on their own, and sometimes the quality of the water is very poor, or it still has some particles in it and things, it's not properly filtered. These are all things that are part of the issues we need to look at. This is too early. Right, so let's go to your digitalized newspapers. I see you have, is it Showbiz?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They decided to give me Showbiz today because I appeared on the LTS show the other time.
Right.
With drinks.
It was massive.
Yes.
You needed to see her.
Oh, I was just banging with Haja for Reals, you know, latest track.
Yeah.
I mean, but on the front page of the graphics Showbiz today, we have a beautiful gospel musician in the person of Esther Goodwill, or Godwill, and she is saying gospel music is not for entertainment. That is what she is saying. Esther Godwill was the best female vocal performer at the recent TGMAs this year. So yes, she's saying that gospel music is not for entertainment, as many people make it look these days. Well, I don't know the conversation that led to this, but I think it is high time we, you know, emphasize more on this statement because of the trends we see in our gospel music these days. Like, it's becoming a norm. You can't even differentiate between a gospel music and a high life, or you know, that kind of thing.
Look as if you've lost the spirituality aspect of gospel.
But music also has various genres. So as much as, yes, gospel is a genre, maybe, you see, they say now, at a point, there was gospel rap. So this person is, my God, this is my brother, my blah. It's also a way to...
with that, you feel some kind of spiritual backing, like,
for that
God
one,
is good, God is this, you know. You feel chills and other things.
The Holy Spirit drops.
Oh, yes. Just like recently, I listened to Black Sherif's latest track, So It Goes. It's a normal high life song, but when you listen to the lyrics in it, you feel some, you know,
So
am I like?
The
It's very
artists
true.
and the emotion they evoke, or the... So if, let's say you're a gospel musician, your relationship with God, you know it is backsliding. So when you make the song, it may not necessarily evoke the presence of God in the song as much as somebody who is diligently always seeking the face of the Lord. Okay, we are going to church now. But so these things too, but yes, it's true that we seem to have seen that our gospel music has become more of a fashion show, and which song has the best banging and danceable tune, rather than the main reason for the song, which is our spirituality.
They should just know that, you know, they don't have they are not in the competition with those into the, should I use secular? They are not in the competition with them. Theirs is gospel, and it should solely be that. When you take a lesson to, I'm not that old, but is it Hannah Mouth, Cecilia? Hannah Mouth and those?
Yes.
Yes. When you listen to...
there's Hannah Mouth and there's Cecilia Mouth. Okay.
When you
One
listen
shouts,
to
the
them,
other...
when you listen to them, anytime you listen to it, you feel like uplifted. You understand? So we are not trying to undermine their efforts, but then it's high time they sit down, reconsider, and put measures in place, because we will always, choose the olden ones over. For me, that's my personal opinion. Yeah.
And even some of the older musicians have become political, but we have a few comments here. Let me take them. Then we go to your newspaper. Then we go to the online. So this one says, I'm Frank talking from Photofin Studios. I think the city tax imposed on the fuel is a good idea. However, some drivers are finding it difficult to cope. I wish the tax could be implemented in more cities. The President, the Ministry of Transport and GPRTU have agreed that drivers should deduct 15% of the taxi fare for the city tax, but currently drivers are only deducting 5% instead of 15%. They are also charging 50 pesos instead of the full amount. I believe the current tax rate is too low. I think drivers who have been deducting the correct 15% tax should be exempt from paying the tax in 2 or 3 cities. The authority should investigate and penalize those who haven't been deducting the correct amount. Sorry. Now, we also have one from, so that was from Frank, and then we have one from Gabriel, and he says, good morning, trust you people are doing well. I'm enjoying the show, watching you from La. Please tell the President John Dramani Mahama that he should from the former government, he should learn from the former government before beginning this incremental of the fuel. So I think he's trying to say he should learn from the previous government and then use that to advise himself with this new tax. Thank you so much for your comments. We really appreciate them. Yes, Peter, what do you have for us?
I have
on your newspaper?
Daily Graphic, and on the front page, one Ghana City energy sector levy to tackle 3.7 billion debts. Finance Minister, we've discussed that. Then we have inflation drops to 2-year low. Government statistician advises households, entities to limit discretionary spending. And then we also have 3,319.66 kg substance test positive for cocaine, and NIB is set to destroy. And then we also have government won't interfere with corruption cases. I think I love this one. Government won't interfere with corruption cases. Right now, I'm overwhelmed looking at what is happening here in Ghana. We spoke about the former finance Kenoforia's issue. Yes. And then right now we also have MBI, Adubuahen. We also, I've not forgotten about the missing containers. I don't know how far with them.
I think the last time you said they recovered some
extra containers as well.
And then currently, the original chairman Untu. We also see a whole lot cases. Like I can't wrap my head around this, and so I'm very excited. Government is saying, the president is saying, he will not interfere with the corruption cases. So once they are through with investigation, whatever punishment or whatever thing is supposed to be done, they just give it to them accordingly. And then we are also hoping that, as they've taken it upon themselves to investigate, the ORA team will come up with, something, substantial that we can also touch. And, at the end of the day, we just want to, see that there's transparency, as the president said. We want to see that there's transparency, and then be able to also recover these, huge amounts of money we've been hearing.
To pay the ECG. Well, that being said, we hope that these institutions that are responsible for the corruption cases will not take certain decisions, and when we question them, they tell us order from above. We've seen it happening. So, as the government has said they won't interfere, we also don't want to hear anything like order from above. Now, let's go to the online news. So, the first story here says, healthcare system under strain as nurses strike continues across Ghana. Now, it says the healthcare services across Ghana have been severely disrupted as members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association continue their strike, leaving patients stranded and medical facilities struggling to cope. In the Ashanti region, major hospitals like Menchia, South Suntreso, and Kumasi South have experienced significant slowdowns, with key departments such as family planning and specialized clinics at Menchia Hospital completely shut down. Now marked by red bands at entrances signaling industrial action. Then the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Edu Boache, highlighted the pressure on healthcare services, noting that health officers and doctors are working to manage patients' care amid the absence of nurses and midwives, but the situation remains difficult. In the Volta region, physician's assistants at the Hohoe Regional Hospital have taken over outpatient duties, including checking patients' vitals, as the strike affects healthcare delivery there. Now, Courage Kumar, the regional chair of the GRNMA, has stressed the urgent need for the government to address the nurses' welfare and improve their conditions of service to end the strike.
Right. So this strike has been made known for a long time.
Yeah.
I think it is now that they've taken the bold step to embark on it. But somewhere 2024, I think March 21st, 2024, they formally communicated their concerns to the Ministry of Health about, the fact that their verification fees, license verification fees, have been increased from 550 Ghana cedis to 3,000 Ghana cedis, which was a lot for them. They also raised concerns as to their arrears not being paid on time and other things. And so that was what led them to this strike. Honestly, I wasn't expecting a strike, this year or with this, administration, because of how they started and other things. Doesn't mean that they didn't pay attention to, the nurses, their concerns, or they didn't prioritize, concerns. Let me put it that way.
We're just 6 months into the new administration. Not to be lenient on them or anything, but they have a lot on their hands to deal with. That being said, it means that the strike would also just draw their attention quicker to them. So in the health sector, they remember that, okay, the nurses and midwives also need certain things, because we know all our governments, past, present, hopefully not future, always have something to do with delayed payments of allowances and things like that. And it's been something that keeps going on from national service to rotational nurses and all of that. So I think hopefully, as this government said, they are listening government. Maybe we'll hear something from them very soon.
Well, I just want to emphasize on the fact that we shouldn't forget that nurses and midwives contribute like 60% of the clinical workforce. And without them, it will be, totally impossible to have, the hospital running and other You don't expect a doctor to come and be, doing your vitals and other things. And so if they are going to pay attention to them, then it should be as soon as possible. If not,
problem.
And also, I want to add up, I also feel that, I don't know if government was waiting for them to walk the talk, because from last year, 2024, it's a whole year. Even prior to this strike, they gave a roadmap to this, strike. So 2nd to 3rd June 2025, they said they'll be wearing of red arm, hand bands at work. And then from 4th to 8th June 2025, withdrawal of all OPD services, including public health services, ANC services, and all specialist clinic. And on 9th June, total withdrawal of all services if government refused to, adhere to their call. And I feel that, like Mimi rightly said, they play a vital role. And so some of these concerns, they need to address them as soon as possible. And that, like you rightly said, talking about the delay in payment, it doesn't only affect, these registered nurses and midwives. When you take a look at the National Health Insurance too, they were complaining that the delay in payment, government owe and a whole lot. And then recently, government has done well by, the sports ministry by paying all arrears. So I think they should look at the direction of Ghana Health Service and also do same to.
Well, for me, I even think this is long overdue, because look at the number of nurses that, migrate from Ghana to CK greener pastures.
I think I saw something like that on the news.
Yes, about 2,000 nurses. Every year, annually, leave the country to other countries.
Yeah.
So we train them and then they go and practice it elsewhere. So you see, that should even tell us that we need to pay attention to them. Because they've always complained about, not getting better conditions of services, their salaries are not encouraging. Nurses.
And they don't even come on time.
You get it. That's why sometimes you go to the hospital and the nurse will be rude towards you. You don't understand.
She's hungry.
Because this is a passionate job. They should do it with love. But if they're not treated well.
Yeah, and knowing that it's a passion job, it's a compassion job too. These people should be compensated the best, because somebody can just use anger to end your life.
Thank you very much.
Somebody can decide, I'm no longer going to work, I'm on strike, and something that could have been checked would cause the death of another person. And they've seen death so much, most of them are used to it. You are the one going to feel pain. You are just another casualty in the hospital. So yes, our government, please help our people.
We've been complaining that most of the nurses are leaving. These are some of the things that are forcing them to leave. If we are not giving them better working conditions, they'll leave. And then the strike is very disturbing, I might say, to the extent that physician assistants are now checking vitals and all of that. It's a very serious thing.
And
Government
they may not even be properly trained for some of the things the nurses do. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the online news review. I did this with Miriam Abnadidi and Peter Insia. It was very enriching. And Miriam, we have an entertainment conversation and lifestyle segment,
exactly.
Right?
Tomorrow is Sanla, so we can't leave out entertainment, from this conversation. We have an artist coming our way this morning. Yeah. So they should expect some bangers and dance moves in the studio.
Right. Okay, so ushering in our holiday, Miriam and her guests will be up next to entertain us. Stay tuned.
So get ready for an unforgettable
dancing, or just soaking in the atmosphere. We have something for everyone. Expect surprise.
friend to tell a friend.
And join us for Happy Hour.
Get ready to rock with us. Happy Hour with the Clockside Band.
Sing. I don't wanna wait.
To add all those test pots, like application to something like this. Yes. Oh, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's gonna be able to draw level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
This is how we do M.I.
To the heart of entertainment. Let's Talk Star, where we explore the latest trends in the entertainment industry. From viral moments to hottest celebrity stars, we've got you covered. Have questions? We want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's vibe together.
I got a secret. Do you wanna hear it?
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
The Koko Just Morning Show here on Clock TV, Accra Stay by Plan, right? Yeah, that should tell you the conversation we are here about to have in the studio. I have with me, you know, an artist from Tema. So you should expect nothing but the best. Yeah, today on the lifestyle segment, we are throwing more light on Wavy Denchi. He is a music artist, and he's going to, walk us through his journey and just talk about music, And so you can get interactive with us by sending in your comments to our WhatsApp number, which is displayed on your screen right now, or via streaming platforms, Facebook and also YouTube, and we will react to them. Yeah, so let's get straight into the conversation. Don't also forget that Sanla is tomorrow, and so we are gearing into that mood. And so if you're Muslim, just send in your wishes, your Sanla wishes. We'll read them out for you, right? So, Wavy, hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Koko Digest Morning Show.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be an artist in Ghana, basically?
It depends on what level you are at. But I'm sure there's craziness everywhere.
Yeah.
On whichever level you are, whether you are big or you are just starting out. It's crazy because the whole industry is,
I know, right? So where would you place yourself? Are you starting, or you're already out there, or where would you place yourself?
I'm starting out.
You're starting out, and you have Medical on your track.
That's a blessing,
Wow. How did you get Medical to collaborate with you on that?
I didn't get him to collaborate with me. It just happened, I didn't even expect it. This is 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had this friend who was friends with someone who knew Medical. So yeah, I was just trying my best, and he's been posting stuff about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Medical saw it. So he asked me to send something. So yeah, I sent him the song. He sends the verse. He even he did his own version of the song. Yeah, he really liked the song.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll take an a cappella from you on that. But let me tell you that today, if you don't know anybody, then you still remain where you are. Or you should know somebody who knows somebody, so that they will link you, So that is it. Maybe. So we want a line or two. I heard it's all about, is it pack to get the dough, something like that from the beginning.
So I was like, sun is scorched, we dey go come. The Biara is slow on the street, it's a quota. No dey joke for road, we dey chase money. Do the pack and get my dough. Hit the bank on the daily. Jenny shot, let me call, cause I cry, stay by plan. Oh, I cry, stay by plan. Yeah, I cry, stay by plan. Don't give me waiting, yeah, I cry, stay by plan.
Right. Accra, stay by plan. Charlie, so what went into the song? Were you just sitting there and you thought of, the hustles you've been going through, and you decided to bring up Accra, stay by plan, because that is the reality?
Yeah, that's the reality of everyone living in Accra. Yeah, I was seeing some, although it sounds it's just vibes and entertainment, just the jam. But I was really seeing some deep stuff on there. Yeah, talking about living in Accra and all the situations, the things you go through and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so what genre of music do you do? Are you a rapper? Are you a hip hop, artist? Because I heard you singing some of your chorus, and then I don't know if it was a rap or. So where do you place yourself?
So I'm an Afro trap artist and an Afrobeat artist.
Okay.
So I'm kind of versatile. I do all around. Because it's business. You just put investments for every side and make sure you see where returns will come out from. Yeah,
and have you been seeing the returns?
Oh yeah. We've been getting it's not enough, but we've been getting numbers a little here and there from people who support you and stuff. Yeah, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so let me take you back to the beginning of all these conversations. How did you become a musician? Was it something that you were born with, or you just wanted to follow the trend?
I used to draw a lot when I was in primary and stuff. But I started listening to Sarkodie and songs that are coming up and stuff. And I felt I can do this. So when I was rapping in class and my friends would be beatboxing and stuff. And all the girls would be hey, stuff. Yeah, so that was when I felt I can really do this. So I've been doing it since high school, but professionally 5 years ago.
So yours was just straight into high life or hip hop. It wasn't gospel,
rapping.
just like the others.
Oh, I used to sing in church.
Gospel.
I used to sing.
Oh, you will give us one gospel song.
I used to sing in church. I still do, but I still do.
Okay, so which church do you attend?
Holy Hill. Holy Hill.
Oh, okay. Right. Would you say music is worth pursuing in Ghana?
Yes. You don't have to box yourself in Ghana.
Yeah.
But like music is very lucrative, and if you treat it as a business, it becomes a business.
Okay.
If you treat it like it's just fun and like talent and art, that's what it will give you. So we treat it like it's a business. Yeah, I'm not signed to any label. We have our own label that we.
Why are you not signed to a label? Because in Ghana, if you want your song to be out there, you need to be under somebody's umbrella.
It's very important.
Yeah.
But we are still shooting our shots and to see. But like for now, we can do everything on our own for now. So I feel like I need to like build myself a little more and get that leverage before I enter into any deal with like a label or something.
Have you ever thought of venturing into these music contests, like music, did I say music, like mentor, those kind of things?
Yeah, I've been to Hitmaker, but
Hitmaker? I don't know, why? What happened? They didn't vote
I don't know,
for
it's up to the judges. I don't know. But
was it at
but
the
reality
stage,
shows, like this will come off as like something that maybe I'm not in the right space to say it.
Yeah.
But I feel like reality shows in Ghana is not it. Like just build yourself. Don't even go and try it because like it's not it. Yeah.
Are there deeper thoughts into what you're saying, or it's just something you think
From my own experience, it wasn't sweet. Yeah, but I don't know for other people.
Yeah. So people are watching. People are learning, and so they want to know the experiences. They want to know so that they don't venture into those kind of things. We also need news content. So
yeah. Reality shows in Ghana is like it's not. People they do things for back.
I know, right?
People they do things for back, and all of us that are sitting there know that. Then they do something because like that you did well, and everybody knows because like when you're inside, everybody that is outside is seeing the videos and stuff, and they know what you went to do. So like people are like but you're good, so why they not pick you? And you just see that people who weren't in the line just come and they just join through the back door and they go for auditions.
That's true.
We see it.
Yeah.
So I know my colleague artists too know the people that have gone through reality shows. They know that if you just go just like that with your own talent, you don't go work, baba. Like.
Okay, and others are also of the view that so if you no go work physically, then they will pass corner like you get what I'm trying to say.
But
do you also do that?
No, then that's when it happens like that. Then it's not really a reality show. Then I don't know what it is, but like if we are supposed to like pay our way through, I feel like it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be honest with ourselves. Judges and everybody is supposed to be really honest with themselves and choose the right people so that we bring out the right talents.
Yeah,
but the world is not fair, so.
Yeah, so I'm just also saying it for those of you guys who want to do it on your own without passing through reality shows. Sometimes it's very hard to get your name out there. Very, very hard. Don't you consider passing, back door, those kind of things? It comes in mind.
But I feel like personally, I feel like if you pay for a sport, you not go really be happy because like the joy is in the doing. It's not in like what you achieve at the end. It's about like you doing and striving and getting to the top. That's how you really feel fulfilled. But like if you just pay away and you're just holding awards and like everybody's giving you, but you didn't work for it. Nah, I'm not that type of person.
I really like your honesty. So let's talk about collaborations in Ghana. We've seen, a couple of upcoming artists who find it very difficult getting big artists on their tracks. So I was surprised when I saw Medical, but you said 4 years ago, so we can see that it wasn't that big, but now it's big. Do you find yourself, hustling or struggling to get people to collaborate with you, the big names? You struggle a lot.
Yes. I used to go for chasing them and stuff, but I realized they also look at you and what you can bring onto the table. So you have to build yourself to a certain stage then when they are collaborating with you, like it happens in every industry.
Yeah.
Like they won't just collaborate
true.
with you. Like they'll see the growth, they'll see your growth and things you've been doing for yourself. Then they will also pour into you. Yeah, because Medical didn't just do it. Like, it was free, but like he didn't just do it. He saw like videos of me doing my best, and he was like, okay, let me just help. Yeah. So I feel like my colleagues should just build their own. Just do your thing. When they see you, they will come for it. Just build a beautiful garden, and the flies will come.
I see. But you know, as upcoming as you are, or you know, should I say, you're almost there. Do you get some challenges? Do you get some distractions? Every day. Walk us through. Like, what are some of the challenges?
It's just like starting your own business,
Yeah.
like a sole proprietor. You will definitely face like a lot, like every day. Funding is like the whole like thing, because like you really need money in this industry, you know. And we are pretty young in Ghana, living in Accra. It's hard. Yeah. So there are lots.
Aside funding, what else?
Yeah. Connections, like networking with people. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't really have a hub in Ghana that like people like me can meet and collaborate, network with ourselves. It's just maybe we meet at the backstage and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not helping. Even if there is a platform, it's not really for underground people. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm happy with people like you that give chance to people like us.
Of course. We'll always do that because we are also upcoming. So we are also promoting ourselves. Someone will see me on your, your page or your social media platforms, and then they'll be like, oh, this girl. So yeah, what about social media? What role do you think social media can play in, promotions and other things?
Yes, right now, social media is like it's like God sent, because like right now, you don't really need to pay people to do some stuff for you.
Yeah.
You can just use social media to get yourself out there. That's what we've been doing. It's like a very good tool that if you really know how to use, you can do something for yourself.
Okay.
Not only music.
Okay. So aside music, do you do something else?
A lot.
Like
that I can't say.
Well, like you are public but you're private.
Yeah, I'm very private. I don't really like to put out my business out there.
Yeah. Why you don't want people to patronize your business, or it's not
I have
patronize?
people that patronize it already. I'm also promoting one. I have like a lot of businesses. This is one.
Okay. It's giving Black Sherif vibes. But anyways, what do you think about Black Sherif?
He's doing good. Shouts to Black Sherif. He's doing good. He's really opening doors for us. Yeah. Because I'm seeing he's opening international doors and stuff, and I'm really happy because seeing a Ghana brother doing that means I can also do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm really happy for it.
So what's the goal? What's the vision for Wavy Denchi? Yeah.
I want to be the richest African rapper.
That's all.
Yeah.
Richest. Yeah. You don't want to impact lives with
when I'm rich, I'll impact life.
No. There are some rich men who are not impacting lives.
Yeah, but with me, like, I feel like Ghana is really like we have talents in the country.
Yeah.
But people tend to look elsewhere to invest their money. Investing in music is very lucrative.
Yeah.
Looking at our brothers from Nigeria, you can see the kind of investments they do in their creative industry. And like, I don't know about with Ghana, like everybody just tends to like invest in real estate or something else, but they forget to like invest in the creative industry. Because when you go to other countries, their biggest exports is music and movies.
I see.
Do you understand? But we tend to invest in other things. Then we blame our artists and actors that they are not doing their best. But you really need funds to like pull some strings in this industry. So I feel like when I become rich, I can then pour into people like me in the country and raise giants from Africa.
May God bless that. But how do you get people to sponsor you?
Yeah, it's been it's been God and like a few angels. Yeah, so For
so
sponsorship,
yeah. So if someone wants to sponsor you, how do they get to you?
I'm open. Like you can just hit me up when we start. I have my own label. You can invest in it, and we make it big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right. You promised that you were going to sing a gospel music for us before we end the show. And so, yes, we're wrapping up one gospel song.
Don't worry, let's go for a commercial.
Hey! Okay, what about any of your songs or your favorite, song?
At the moment, my favorite song. I have this song on my old EP called Flawless Entrance. It's a song I made for my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, when he passed.
Okay, can we have a line or two?
It goes like, "Yeah, same show. That be why I save the dates. Me who won't tell man can be close main gates. The big tree is down. Fear be what you gain. Papa be share with you. Your bro inside in your name. You wanna go cry to impress. It's the only way I could express the stress in my heart. I vex. Oh, that's kid, one brought two sisters. My shout out to tea already. Now I'm naked on your metia. I say, any more bought me so ready. I got me photo. Now I come from crowd to Sekoto. Still, we got a stew. Yamia don't to me Sasako. Came in like a warrior against the big dish all over. Hey,
hey, guy, you are loaded. You are loaded.
Thank you.
Wow. Was it like your personal story?
Yeah.
Because I had two sisters.
So it was a letter to my dad. Yeah, he passed, and like my life just turned left. So I was in a very dark space when I was writing that.
My condolences. Right. So if someone wants to reach out to Wavy, personally, or from a fan base aspect, how can they reach you?
Yeah. So on social media, my handle is Wavy Denchi, WAVYDENKYI, on all social media platforms. But it's Wavy Denchi 1 on TikTok. Just hit me up, I'll reply you, I'll follow back. Let's just grow together.
Right. So we have a few comments here, and this is coming from Kofi Gabriel Adzani, and he's saying Wavy Denchi Wagwan. Okay. Kana Varo also says superstar with a love emoji. We also have Yao Bright. He says big man. We also have Yao Bright coming again with big man and Wavy with some emojis attached. We also have Mimi. I like the conversation with your guest. Any work you don't want to market or make public means it's illegal. Wavy, they said you are do you dealing,
No, I'm
so
clean.
So what is it? Let us know where.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. So maybe my customers wouldn't like me to disclose it.
Thank you so much, Wavy, for making it on the show today.
Thank you.
We've really learned a lot from your story. Yeah, right. So this is where we end the lifestyle conversation here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. My guest was Wavy Denchi, a music artist, and he walked us through his journey. So please, go and follow him on all social media platforms at Wavy Denchi. He spells his name, and so you can follow him as well. Right. We have a few birthday messages coming our way. Please stay with us.
Was your birthday? I heard today was your birthday.
Okay. All right, you're welcome back. Now let's get straight into celebrating some amazing personalities. All right, a happy belated birthday, Anita. From all your mates at King's College, we want to wish you a fantastic birthday filled with love, joy, and laughter. May this special day bring you countless blessings, unforgettable memories, and all the happiness you deserve. A happy birthday to you, Ben of UCC. May the good Lord continue to bless you in all your endeavors, higher heights. And this is from me. A happy birthday, Pearl. Wishing you a day as beautiful, rare, and precious as your name. With love. This is from Jiro. Keep rising, keep shining. May your boots carry purpose, your hearts carry passion, and your name echo in stadiums around the world. Wishing you all the best in your football journey with pride and support. This is from Odame to Mamush Chopa. Okay. We also have this coming from James at Clock TV, and he's saying a happy birthday to Efia Endorse. Efia Endorse. We also have this coming from Yayora. She says, special birthday wishes to the one and only Alhaji, Mr. Kojo Annabelle. You are blessed and greatly loved. Keep being the amazing man you are. Don't mention, sorry, I've mentioned it already. We also have this coming from Hajara. This is to Thomas Atimbila, also known as Freeman, and Hajara says a happy birthday to you. May the good Lord continue to bless you. Right, so a happy birthday to all birthday celebrants for this week. Next week we'll come again with some, more birthdays to celebrate with you. Benedict Nketia Kwating is up next with the sports segment.
Add all those test pots like application to something like this. Yes. Alright, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's going to be able to draw level. Yeah. Wow.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
In-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Walatu Walata seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse. My name is Edmond Akwe, your host of Walatu Walasa.
is how we do. M-I-M-I, Divalish, aka
dive into the heart of entertainment. Let's dot that, where we explore the latest trends in the entertainment industry. From viral moments to hottest celebrity stars, we've got you covered. Have questions? We want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's vibe together. I got a secret. Do you wanna hear it? You're always on my mind.
Hi music lovers, we are the Protagon.
So get ready for an unforgettable music experience on our upcoming show, Happy Hour with the Clocksack Band.
We are bringing you a night filled with electrifying tunes, good vibes, and a whole lot of fun.
Whether it's singing along, dancing, or just soaking in the atmosphere, we have something for everyone. Expect surprise performances, exclusive behind-the-scenes stories, and a chance to connect with us like never before.
Don't miss out. So tell a friend to tell a friend.
And join us for Happy Hour.
Get ready to rock with us. Happy Hour with the Clocksack Band.
Say I don't wanna wait.
All those test spots like application to something like this. Yes. Alright, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's gonna be able to draw level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Walatu Walasa seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse.
My name is Edmond Akwe, your host for Walatu Walasa.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
Clocksack says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not Clocksack speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of Clocksack versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change. Because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement
Welcome to your favorite morning show, the Koko Digest Morning Show. This is the sports update segment, and here we bring you nothing but the best in the world of sports. We are covering all the action, both local and international. I'm your host, Benedict Nketiah. Join me as we dive into the world of sports. Now to the headlines. Sports Minister calls for stricter sanctions over violence in Ghana Premier League. Dreams FC and Midiama make CAF club rankings. Koko Hatofok miss out. Chelsea eyes Kudus ahead of Club World Cup. UK government targets Abramovich over Chelsea sale funds. Now to the main story. Ghana's Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, is calling for stricter sanctions against individuals who violate the law at football stadiums across the country. Following recent violence in the Ghana Premier League, Sports Minister Kofi Adams is calling for tougher penalties during the match between Basake Holy Stars and Nations FC. Chaos erupted, leading to the game being stopped. Nations FC protested the penalty call, and the situation escalated with reports of attacks on club officials. In the latest club FIFA CAF club rankings, only two Ghanaian teams made a cut: Dreams FC and Midiama SC. Dreams FC is doing well, ranking 26th after a great run in the CAF Confederation Cup. Midiama is at 51. Sadly, big names like Asante Kotoko and Hatofok didn't make the list. They haven't done well in CAF competitions recently, which explains why they are not in the rankings. At the top of the CAF rankings, Al Ali leads with 78 points, followed by Mamelodi Sundowns, which has 62 points, and Esperance de Tunis with 57 points. Pyramids FC, crowned African champions for the first time this season, sits 6th, while Confederation Cup winners RS Berkane are 4th. Now to international sports news. Chelsea are reportedly among the clubs showing strong interest in signing Ghanaian international Mohamed Kudus from West Ham United. The 23-year-old midfielder, who impressed in his first season, has an £85 million release clause that becomes active in July. Chelsea is interested and could be in a good position to sign him. Chelsea wants to strengthen their team before the FIFA Club World Cup in June, where they will face Los Angeles FC, Flamengo, and ES Tunis. The UK government is considering legal action against former Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich to secure the funds from the club sale for Ukrainian humanitarian aid. The £2.5 billion from the sale has been frozen in a UK bank account since Abramovich was sanctioned following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The government aims to ensure the money benefits those suffering in Ukraine, while Abramovich has expressed a desire for the funds to support all victims of the war. In a joint statement, officials emphasized their readiness to pursue the matter through the courts to ensure the proceeds reach Ukrainian humanitarian causes promptly. And that is it for the sports update segments. My name is Benedict Nketia Kwarting. Next is the business segment with Peter Insi.
Hello and welcome to the Business Update segment right here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am Peter Nsia. Now let's dive into our stories. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has announced a bold plan to reduce lending rates to 10% or lower within the next 4 years. His goal is to make credit more affordable for businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises, and to boost private sector investment and economic growth. Currently, lending rate in Ghana average around 27.4%, posing a major challenge for business financing. Addressing this at the AGI Corporate Forum in Accra, Dr. Esiama emphasized the need for structural reforms to address the high cost of credit. The BOG is working closely with commercial banks to implement sustainable measures aimed at lowering rates. He also encouraged more proactive self-regulation within the banking sector, urging industry leaders to collaborate and propose solutions rather than waiting for regulatory enforcement. The central bank plans to act as a facilitator in this process. Dr. Esiama highlighted the central bank's efforts to maintain a stable macroeconomic environment, pointing to progress in reducing inflation and stabilizing the local currency as essential foundations for achieving the lower lending rate target. He reaffirmed the Bank of Ghana's commitment to supporting businesses, recognizing their broader contribution to national development. Away from the Bank of Ghana, Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atoforsin announced the allocation of $987,965,730 to the District Assembly's Common Fund for the first quarter of 2025. He highlighted the government's commitment to decentralization and local governance. Dr. Forson stated that 80% of the fund must be promptly allocated to district assemblies as mandated by law. He emphasized the need for the DACF administrator to ensure this direct transfer and require expenditure returns to the Ministry of Finance before future releases. Additionally, he encouraged members of Parliament to oversee the use of these funds in their districts to ensure compliance with spending guidelines approved by Cabinet.
We have transferred the sum of 967,965,000 73 Ghana cedis from the consolidated fund to the District Assembly's Common Fund, being the first quarter amount due the District Assembly Common Fund for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, 25% of the amount transferred to the district assemblies is to be utilized for the design and construction of a model market in each district assembly. Mr. Speaker, 10% of the amount is earmarked for the construction of health facilities where a minimum of 2 CHIPS compounds are supposed to be constructed at rural assemblies. Mr. Speaker, again, 10% of the amount is earmarked for the construction of educational facilities, including 1 KG block, 1 primary school block, and 1 junior high school block. Right, Honorable Speaker, another 10% of the amount is earmarked for the provision of potable water in each assembly, of which a minimum of 10 boreholes are supposed to be constructed in rural assemblies. Mr. Speaker, again, we have earmarked 10% of the amount that will be sent directly to the assemblies for the provision of school furniture. Mr. Speaker, in order for the assemblies not to use this amount for the purposes of the administration and monitoring and evaluation, government has capped the allocation for the running of the assembly to be at 5%. 5%. And Speaker, finally, recognizing the need to complete abandoned legacy projects, we have also allocated an amount, 20% of the amount.
And on to our last story, inflation in Ghana saw a notable drop in May 2025, falling to 18.4% year-on-year, down from 21.2% in April. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, this sharp decline is mainly due to lower transportation costs and a decrease in non-food inflation. This marks the 5th straight month of declining inflation in 2025 and represents the lowest rate since February 2022, indicating a slowdown in the pace of price increases. Government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu highlighted that falling fuel prices and the resulting drop in transport fares were the main drivers of the reduction. Regionally, the Upper West recorded the highest inflation at 38.1%, while the Ahafo region had the lowest at 14.5%. And that's all we have for you on the Business Update segment. My name is Peter Itian. Up next is the main discussion with Yaira Awono. Stay tuned.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Welatu Walasa seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse. My name is Edmond Akwe, your host of Welatu Walasa.
To add all those test flag application to something like this.
Alright, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's going to be able to draw level. Yeah. Wow.
This is how we do. M-I, Devilish, A.K.
Latest trends in the entertainment industry. From viral moments to hottest celebrity stars, we've got you covered. Have questions? We want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's vibe together. I got a secret. Do you wanna hear it? You're always on my
Hi music lovers, we are the Protagonist.
So get ready for an unforgettable music experience on our upcoming show, Happy Hour with the Clocksack Band. We are bringing you a night filled with electrifying tunes, good vibes, and a whole lot of fun.
Whether it's singing along, dancing, or just soaking in the atmosphere, we have something for everyone. Expect surprise performances, exclusive behind-the-scenes stories, and a chance to connect with us like never before.
Don't miss out. So tell a friend to tell a friend.
And join us for Happy Hour.
Get ready to rock with us. Happy Hour with the Clocksack Band.
Say I don't wanna wait.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
Clocksack says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not Clocksack speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of Clocksack versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, Lieutenant Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
Labor, they say, is the backbone for national development, playing a vital role in shaping economic growth, fostering social stability, and enhancing overall productivity. As the workforce undergoes continuous transformation, it is crucial to not only educate but also to actively engage all stakeholders in meaningful discussions on labor policies, workers' rights, and current labor trends. In responding to these pressing needs, Clock TV introduces Walatu Walasa, a dynamic and engaging program dedicated exclusively to exploring the multifold realms of labor issues. This innovative program aims to provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Walatu Walasa seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse. My name is Edmond Akwe, your host for Walatu Walasa.
Welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show, and if you're just tuning in, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show, and it's time for our main discussion. We are having a discussion with the ambulance service, and today's topic is quite broad. We are spending some time with the ambulance service, and our guest is the paramedic emergency medical technician, Dr. Daniel Asari. He is also the regional commander, Greater Accra, and also the facilitator at the Paramedic and Emergency Care Training School. Thank you so much for joining us. We are glad to have you here again. So, ambulance service. I think on Tuesday, with our discussion, we had a caller who was not very happy with the fire service, and I'm sure it's all based on the misconceptions and lack of knowledge. So I'm sure you're here to educate us properly on the ambulance service. So can you tell us a little bit about ambulance service?
Okay, thank you, madam, and good morning to your cherished viewers. I bring you greetings from the National Ambulance Service with the CEO, Professor Ahmed Zakaria, and all the emergency medical technicians working hard to save more lives as possible in Ghana. And what I can say is National Ambulance Service is an agency under the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
The service started actually in 2004, so we are 21 years as we speak.
Okay.
But what brought the birth of the service is the Stadium May 9 disaster. That was the match between Hasofok and Asante Kotoko at Accra Sports Stadium. And there was some pandemonium that happened at the stadium between the supporters of Hasofok and Asante Kotoko, where attempt of the Ghana Police Service to restore order at the stadium, a tear gas was fired. And you know, stadium is an enclosed environment, so when tear gas is being fired, definitely it will trigger asthma attack and other medical emergencies. And also the stadium gate was all closed, remaining just one. So everybody was rushing for his life. So there was a total stampede where people stepped on other people, broken limbs and other things. So there was a lot of casualties. The medical team at the stadium were overwhelmed with the number of casualties. So what happened is people were even sent to the hospital when they were unconscious, but they were not dead because there was no proper triaging done by sorting out to know those that can be treated on scene and those have to send to the hospital for further management. So when that incident happened, we lost about 127 lives that day, which was one of the saddest days in Ghana as we speak. So what happened was the government at that time had to set up the Okujeto Commission, and one of the recommendations was to have a standby emergency service so that when we have any mass gathering of that magnitude, we'll be there to take care of any emergencies that will definitely happen. So that is why ambulance service came into being. We started with about 7 pilot stations, Eastern region, Greater Accra, and Ashanti region, with 7 pilot stations. Then, as we speak, we have 298 ambulance stations across the length of breadth of Ghana. We started with
with the 298. Is there one in each constituency?
Yeah, so we cover every district region in Ghana. So every district is assigned with what? An ambulance.
Okay.
We started with a personnel of 64. Some drawn from the Ghana National Fire Service and other civilians. Then currently we can boast of about 3,500 personnel. And that's who have been trained, well trained, given the needed clinical skills to take care of casualties in Ghana. We were formerly being trained at the Fire Academy and Training School at Jamestown.
Okay.
But currently we have a paramedics and emergency care training school where we train all those who are recruited in the service. And that training school is the only training school we have in terms of paramedics training in West Africa. And it's at a town called in Kinkensu, in the Ashanti region, on your way to Techima.
Okay.
It's near Akomada. That's where we train the EMTs.
So how does one get to enter the school? Maybe
so
SHS leaver?
So for the training school, when you are being recruited, because our recruitment, there will be an advert in the daily graphic.
Okay, so it's for recruits.
So when you are being recruited, then you have to go through the training. With the training, for the basic level, we need a minimum qualification of SHS with good passes. With good passes, then you can be recruited. Either you want to be an EMT driver or you want to work at the back of the ambulance. But for the advanced level, so the basic level, 1 year training at the hospital, 3 months. You also go for ambulance station 3 months and also classroom. So by the time you finish, it will be for a period of 1 year to learn more clinical skills and in terms of bleeding control, shock management, lifting and moving of casualties. Then for the advanced level, you need a minimum qualification of first degree from a recognized institution, a recognized university in Ghana. Then you go for 2 years training for the advanced, where you do a lot of training on advanced airway management. You do electrocardiogram, that's ECG. So you go to a more advanced invasive procedure, IV cannulation and all those ones. And when it comes to the advanced trauma life support, then we have the paramedics level, which is the highest level when it comes to the emergency medical services. Currently, we train our paramedics in the US. That is Florida Department of Emergency then department, then also North Dakota. So we have that kind of collaboration. That's where we train our paramedics. Then they come and work in Ghana here.
All right. So do you have any liaison with emergency medicine in the country, in our healthcare system?
Yeah, definitely. Even our team of facilitators, or let's say, or regional medical coordinators, most of them are emergency physician specialists, or some too are consultants. So we also work with them in terms of medical directions and all those. And those who even teaches at the training school are emergency physician specialists and consultants. Because our work is at the pre-hospital setting, but it's being fused into the emergency service, because emergency starts from the incident scene and end up at the hospital. So it's a continuum of care. Then also what I want to also add is the Ambulance Service Act, that's Act 2020. In the 2020 Parliament of Ghana passed the Ambulance Service Act 1041. That gives us the mandate to operate as a legal entity in Ghana.
So, I see your very big pamphlet here, so maybe you can take us through some of your mandates.
So when it comes to our mandate, the Act, as enshrined in the Act, we have been given the mandate to take care of pre-hospital emergencies. We talk about emergencies that has happened outside the domain of the hospital. It can be road traffic incidents, domestic cases, maternal cases, mass casualty incidents like fire outbreaks, building collapse, gas explosions. All those ones are part of our mandate. We take those, we respond to those emergencies, take care of the casualties and send them to hospital for further management. And also we do first aid training. We train institutions on basic first aid. So when there's an emergency, before the ambulance arrives, the people around will be able to do certain basic maneuvers like bleeding control, putting patients on the recovery position, doing small splinting before the ambulance arrives. So we do all those things. Then when it comes to programs of high magnitude like ECOWAS, AU, we normally go for medical standby duties. Because such programs, you have to meet the international standard. We have ambulance standby on them. We even sometimes go to the airport, do a convoy, follow the presidents, bring them to the conference venue. And because of the professionalism of our personnel, when the president go back, they give feedback to the presidency that, oh, Ghana have a very robust emergency services. So we are still working in that level. Then what I also want to say is the ambulance service, our motto is timely care saves lives.
Okay.
Timely care saves lives. So our work is based on quick response time when it comes to emergency services. So we are working hard to make sure that we can improve on the services of emergencies in Ghana. That's what I can say for now.
So we have a comment here. This is from Nana Kwekudia Ajiman Prempe. He says, please tell the regional commander that they should always have a strong police team who will escort the ambulance during emergencies, because Tema Community 25 road of to Pram and Aflao is not easy. The drivers don't give way to the ambulance, and the last time the ambulance driver had to get down and beg before they gave way, which isn't good. So please kindly inform the commander for me. They have to get police escort anytime there are emergencies. Thank you so much for your contribution, and that brings me to remind you all to send in your comments to the WhatsApp number displayed onto your screen or onto our YouTube or Facebook live stream. I will get them and read them aloud to you, and when the phone lines are opened, I will do well to alert you so that you can call and ask your questions. So yes, back to you, sir. With this very big pamphlet, what can you tell us briefly about the mandate of the emergency medical services? Okay, so this book I have here is our pre-hospital emergency care treatment protocol. Okay. So this one, every EMT that is on board of the ambulance have its roles and responsibilities, because we are dealing with patients. And also the patient have a right to confidentiality, good care, and also we don't have to negligently treat a patient. You understand? So our protocols are spelled out in our EMS treatment protocol. So we have these books in the ambulances so that when we are even doing treatment, then we can also easily refer to them. We also have doctors on standby, emergency physicians, so that when we need further update, we can call. So this is BLS protocols, advanced life support protocols, and also paramedics protocols. So all treatment, when it comes to cardiac arrest, when it comes to shock management, when it comes to management of traumatic patient, all these things are in there. Right. So it's the EMT Bible. Oh, EMT Bible. Okay. So does this mean that everybody who goes to the training school has to probably learn this book and come and write exams? Yeah. So we after your training, you have to write exam, and you need to pass the exams before you can be allowed to operate with the ambulance. And even after as you are working, every 2 years we do training. Every 2 years we do training, and the training is to give you further updates on the EMS profession, because there's a lot of changes that normally come. So you need to go and do what we call continuous professional development. Then you'll be given further certificates to that effect. Okay. Yeah. So what are some of the very key factors that contribute to the delay in your emergency responses? Because, I mean, yes, people say it a lot. I don't know, I think the citizens, they like berating the ambulance service and the fire service. What are some of the challenges? Okay, so one thing I want to say is when it comes to the ambulance service, we face a lot of challenges. One, because per the international standard, we are supposed to have an ambulance. One ambulance is to 50,000 population, according to the World Health Organization standard. Because an ambulance will serve a population of about 50,000. But as we speak, Accra has a population about 5.2 million, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, and we also have about 40 ambulances serving this number of population. Definitely, you can see that there's a deficit to that effect. So we need a maximum of about 100 ambulance and more to serve the entire population of Accra. And Ghana has a population of about 33 million and having about 300
25 ambulances all over. So it means definitely logistics challenge. So we need retooling of the service. We need more ambulances. We need more defibrillators. We need more equipment to augment our work. So once we are able to get more ambulances, that's why it's going to reduce our response time. It means once you call, you'll be able to reach to our destination, because per the international side, when you call an ambulance, within 8 to 10 minutes, the ambulance has to get to the scene, so that you're able to take care of it. Because we are being inundated with a lot of calls, as we speak, from the records we have, from even Greater Accra alone. I just want to give you some statistics. Greater Accra alone, from January to June, we have January to May, May, we've attended to 3,597 cases only in Accra. So when you even go to the nationwide, it means almost getting to 3,000 cases, almost getting to 30,000. That's for this year. Even last year alone, Accra alone, they responded to 9,037 cases only for Greater Accra. So what I would say is the call volumes are enormous, a lot of pressure. So there will be a time you can call an ambulance and almost all our cars are on emergency. So definitely we'll ask you to hold on and wait. And we serve hospitals, we serve schools, hotels, and even general public when it comes to road traffic accidents. So one is logistics. Then we also need more staff, because a staff of about 3,500, serving a population of about 5.2, a population of about 33 million. It means we'll be overwhelmed. So we are appealing to the government to recruit more personnel, get more financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance so that we can recruit more. Then also the issue about other challenges about traffic congestion, as the public is talking about. An ambulance will be coming with a patient from maybe the Pram area is talking about. There's a lot of vehicular traffic. Maybe you are coming to Tema General Hospital. The siren will be blaring, using megaphone, give way to, but nobody will mind you. You understand? So we are making a passionate appeal to the MTTD, the police, so that they will also assist us. They are doing their job, but they have to intensify what they do to us, so they can give way to us, so that we be able to send people to the destination. Then issues about people giving false alarms. Once there's no emergency, they call our dispatch centers, pranking the system. We call them prank calls. They call there's no emergency. That one brings congestion with our net, because the line 112 is a toll-free line. So people just try to call on it and just they are checking on you. Are you at work? And somebody is tired, come and send the person. All these things. In a month, we can have about 5,000 prank calls coming to our dispatch center, which is affecting our work. So we are appealing to the public to desist from pranking the system. So these are one or two challenges that is affecting. Then the other issue is ambulances does not carry the dead.
But before we continue with that, I want to ask about the number again. On Tuesday, the NADMO official we had here also mentioned that their number is 112. Your number is also 112. How do you navigate the calls?
Okay, so the calls, when you call 112, it will be routed to our dispatch center. So once the dispatchers will interrogate the call and find out from where you are calling from. So once you say you are calling from, let's say, Labadi, it means we also have an ambulance station around the trade fair area there. So definitely, that is the ambulance that we are going to. If the ambulance is not there, we need to bring an ambulance from Nima, Nungwa. So we always look at proximity so that we can reach our destination safely. So apart from the 112, we have other numbers too. Then maybe when
if you can give us the numbers so that we can
have MTN 0558.
0558
20 14
96
0558
20 14 96.
Then Vodafone 0302
0302
68
07
22.
22.
Then 0299
029 is which one?
That is the Gota line. The walking talking. The radio phone.
Okay,
yeah,
radio.
That's what we normally use.
So we the normal citizenry. If we
you
call that
call,
9,
yeah, you
okay.
can call.
Okay, so for the radio line we have 029.
9.
Another 9.
Yes.
Okay.
37. 56. 94. Yeah.
So I will repeat this one more time. We have, for the MTN number, if you're not getting the toll-free number, this is not for you to go and indulge in your prank calls, but this is for serious emergencies only. So for the MTN number for the ambulance service, we have 055-820-1496. 055-820-1496. Then for Telecel or Vodafone, we have 0302-680722. 0302-680722. Then for the radio line, as you call it, we have 0299-375694. 0299-375694. So kindly take note. MTR would also take note and display it on the screen. So if you did not get me reciting the numbers, you can pick it up online. Yes, thank you so much for this. Yes, again about the number. So when the call comes, has there ever been a situation where maybe all the ambulances are engaged, so you would rather delegate it to NADMO to help the people?
No, but NADMO, they are into disaster management. It's an agency that coordinates disasters in Ghana, when there's flood, when there's fire outbreak and all that. So we work closely with NADMO. So sometimes we even get calls from the NADMO Emergency Operating Center, fire service, their command center, and police, because we all work in. So sometimes when there's a case, the police sometimes will call us.
Yeah.
Because when there's road traffic accident in Ghana here, most of the time police normally are called first.
Okay.
So once they get to the scene, then they will call the ambulance service and we come. So we rather normally take calls from NADMO and fire service and police, and we respond appropriately.
Okay.
And we have a lot of success stories to that effect. For example, we pick somebody from, they called the airport police station that there was a patient lying at the Shashi bus stop. So the bystanders were saying that the person is dead. Because the person was lying in the gutter. Yeah, it's about just 2 to 3 weeks ago. When the airport police arrived at the scene, then per their assessment, they saw that the patient is not dead. So they have to now call the ambulance service. Then we have to come, not knowing this person is homeless, lying in the gutter for so many days. So per our assessment, we saw that the patient is dehydrated. Is very hungry, so we need to get some drink and other things for the patient. We have to clean the body. Then after that, we have to put this patient into the ambulance and send the patient to police hospital for further management. And this patient is still alive. I quite remember about a year ago, we also picked a patient from, let's say a baby, from the Achimota forest. The baby was wrapped in a polythene.
Oh.
Yeah, and when we got there, the patient was even having difficulty in breathing. We have to resuscitate the baby, then put the baby in the ambulance, quickly move the baby to Achimota Hospital, then for further management. As we speak, the baby is with a social worker, and the baby is alive. Recently, a military officer was in a trotro going to work. And when they got to Ablikuma, that's Awushi Junction, I think he suddenly collapsed in the ambulance. And we have a station closer to the barnyard, so they have to quickly rush and take care of the military officer. So we are doing a lot when it comes to mass casualty incident. I can give you instances from the Mekong disaster. We responded quickly, transported a lot of casualty. The gas explosion, the atomic gas explosion. Then also the Apieti incident that happened in Takrady, the explosion. Casualties were airlifted with assistance from the Ghana Armed Forces from Apieti. to Air Force Base. Then we send them to Rich Hospital and Kolebu for further. So we do a lot of these things when it comes to, but those ones are good news. So normally it doesn't really catch media attention. You understand? Some instances in Ghana, when we pick cases that does not have relatives, we have a lot of challenges. Patient without relative, like accident, you don't have a relative. When you go to the hospital sometimes feel reluctant to help. Because once they take, who is going to take care of, pay the bills? So sometimes our personnel even use their own money to do a folder. Before they can commence treatment. But those news doesn't come to them. So we have to start telling our own story. Because the media sometimes don't capture all those things.
Right. So in being understaffed, are there other ways the ambulance service generates income that can cater to the welfare of the, because maybe if let's say the government has placed an embargo on recruitment and then maybe it's because of finances, government spending, there's not enough money, are there avenues that the ambulance service can engage in that would be able to cater for any new recruits that you may want to have because you're understaffed?
Yeah, for recruitment, the ambulance service alone does not have the power to recruit people. You understand? Because we are under the Ministry of Health, we need to, that's the agency that we have. So unless we get financial clearance, the service cannot go ahead to recruit. Because when you recruit them, placing them on the controller payroll will be a challenge. So they have to get clearance before we have to be able to recruit. So that's what I can say to them. We don't go directly recruiting people.
All right. So since you've mentioned that you're understaffed and all, but even with the current staff, how well equipped are you for the increase in demand?
Definitely. So in terms of our personnel, we normally do a lot of in-service training for them. We have a collaboration with the University of Florida, and also North Dakota Department of Health. So they sometimes we do exchange program. Some of our people also go there for training. They come here to build our capacity. We do a lot of basic life support training, advanced life support, and even our personnel has also been given skills when it comes to delivery. Because we pick a lot of maternal cases in Accra. Kekele, that's Medina Polyclinic, Amasama, Akawe. Sometimes en route, the baby will come with cephalic presentation, the head coming out. And you can't just be going like that. You need to pack the ambulance and deliver the baby. And cut the cord, clamp it, and wrap the baby and go on with further money. Because sometimes the hospital doesn't have enough midwives. So the midwives working at the place cannot sometimes leave their work and join us. So we the EMT, we have been giving, we have training we call helping babies breathe. So that we can en route, and we have a lot of success stories where EMTs have been able to deliver babies en route to the hospital.
Wow, that's
so those are the stories we need to be doing. So our personnel are trained. We do a lot of in-service training. A lot of in-service.
So with your training, do you sort of have maybe this class is for burn victims, this class is for this, or you give everybody all kinds of training so that at whatever time or wherever they find themselves, they can administer whatever
so
they can?
When it comes to emergencies can be either medical or trauma. When I say trauma, there's accident. It can be through road traffic accident, somebody falling from a height. It can be gas explosion, burns. So somebody going through training on emergency medical services. We have been taken through all these emergencies. Obstetrics emergencies, that is labor, pediatric emergency, children, and also trauma emergencies, road traffic accidents. So you go through all aspects of emergencies because you don't know which emergency that will be called for. You understand? So at the basic level, you take them through all those, and the advanced level too, we go through all emergencies. So we are not saying that these people are only for burns. No. We all aspects of emergencies. So that anytime something happens, you can take care of.
Right. It's time for a quick break. When we come back, we have something for you. It's a little bit of a surprise. So when we come back, you see.
In a world world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroads.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
This is how we do M.I.
That where we explore the latest trends in the entertainment industry. From viral moments to hottest celebrity stars, we've got you covered. Have questions? We want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's vibe together. I got a secret. Do you wanna hear it? You're always on my mind.
Is the backbone for national development, playing a vital role in shaping economic growth, fostering social stability, and enhancing overall productivity. As the workforce undergoes continuous transformation, it is crucial to not only educate but also to actively engage all stakeholders in meaningful discussions on labor policies, workers' rights, and current labor trends. In responding to these pressing needs, Clock TV introduces Walatu Walasa, a dynamic and engaging program dedicated exclusively to exploring the multifold realms of labor issues. This innovative program aims to provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Walatu Walasa seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse. My name is Edmond Akwe, your host of Walatu Walasa.
Hi music lovers, we are the Protagonist.
So get ready for an unforgettable music experience on our upcoming show, Happy Hour with the CLOSAG Band.
We are bringing you a night filled with electrifying tunes, good vibes, and a whole lot of fun.
Whether it's singing along, dancing, or just soaking in the atmosphere, we have something for everyone. Expect surprise performances, exclusive behind-the-scenes stories, and a chance to connect with us like never before.
Don't miss out. So tell a friend to tell a friend.
And join us for Happy Hour.
Get ready to rock with us. Happy Hour with the CLOSAG Band.
Say I don't wanna wait.
welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show. We're having our main discussion, spending some time with the ambulance service, and we're learning a lot. And like I said, there's a little bit of a surprise for you. So when it's getting close, I will inform you about it. Please do send your questions and comments to our WhatsApp number displayed onto your screens and onto our Facebook and YouTube live streams as well. And when the phone lines are opened, I will do my best to alert you so you can call and ask your questions. We have PA EMT Dr. Asari here with us, and he's been educating us on some of the things that are sort of misconceived by the public about the ambulance service. So back to the questions again. So you mentioned that you're understaffed. Okay. You mentioned that we don't also have enough ambulances based on the WHO standard. So what are some of the innovative strategies that you've implemented in some of these responses, emergency responses?
Okay, so as a service, definitely in a day, sometimes we have a lot of calls. You know, we are operating with vehicles. Yeah. Some of them will have breakdowns and other that will happen. Some will be at the workshops and others. So sometimes when we get a lot of calls, we have a lot of calls that because one thing, even before I come to your question, because we are operating the National Ambulance Service, some hospitals who were even running their own private ambulances have now, some of them are not running it again because we are doing most of the most inter-hospital transfer. We do it. When it comes to medical investigation like MRI, CT scans, we take care of all. So as for the pressure, we have a lot of pressure on us. And sometimes when we pick cases to the hospital, challenges of having no bed syndrome, so also affect our work. One thing I want to say is, as a service, we need to continue with our public sensitization. It's very, very important. Before an ambulance comes, what can the public do? Because in other jurisdictions, we have something we call community paramedics. Like some of them are volunteers. So if something happens, by the time we come there, those people will take care of all those things. So I think we are having some collaboration with Ghana Education Service, and so that we can even have ambulance clubs in the various schools. Because normally we go to the schools to do first aid training. So that anytime there's an emergency, they'll be able to take care of those emergencies before we come there. And also currently there's a program we are running with DVLA. In Accra here, we've been to Circle, we've been to 37 lorry stations where we are training the drivers on basic first aid. Next week we'll be going to Ashama. We are in deep, so that DVLA take care of that. So we give them basic first aid so that in case there's an accident, they will be able to assist, because, or even calling us, because the drivers are everywhere. And also they will also have certain first aid boxes in their ambulance, in their vehicle, so that in case there's emergency, we'll be able to take care of it. So these are some of the innovative strategies we are putting in place.
But what about with your employees? Maybe you are left to just 3 people and you've got about 5 calls. How are you going to be able to let these 3 people attend to all the
the calls, it will depend on the magnitude or the gravity of the calls. You understand? Some of the calls that will come might not be a serious emergency. Maybe somebody have gone to the hospital, the person has been discharged, going home, maybe from Accra to Ho or to Kumasi. And somebody who have been involved in an accident. So we need to prioritize the calls so that we know those who need ambulances immediately. So if yours is life and death, you're having a life-threatening condition, it means we need to dispatch ambulance, because if you don't go, you might lose a life. But somebody who is going home after is fine. That one, we can let that person hold on for some time. Later, when we finish, we can look at other. And sometimes we can even get ambulances from adjoining regions, like say we are in Accra and we are overwhelmed, we can call central region, maybe Kaswa, Uniba, to help us. Eastern region in Sawam and other, sometimes Sugakope. So we do those. And when sometimes they are also overwhelmed, we move ambulances even from Accra here to Volta region and other places to bring cases.
You answered my next question halfway, but I'll still ask, how do you determine the severity of these emergencies? How do you determine that this takes precedence over this?
Okay, so per the training we have conditions we normally call life-threatening conditions.
Okay.
Somebody who has suddenly collapsed, it means a serious emergency, because if you don't get there and do our interventions like CPR and other things, the person can easily go. Somebody who have airway compromise, the person is choked, the person is need immediate attention. Somebody who is bleeding profusely, or maybe somebody in labor is bleeding. You understand? Pregnancy induced hypertension, postpartum hemorrhage, all those things are serious emergency. Somebody who have an asthma attack, that one is life and death. So those emergencies that can easily take your life, when we don't even respond quickly, those ones we give them what do you call precedence over other one. Maybe we are going for medical investigation, x-ray, those ones we can let those ones, unless it's an emergency x-ray that is road traffic and we have to go and do it quickly and bring the patient back. Those, so we prioritize. So road traffic incidents, people who have head injuries, multiple traumas, those ones are life-threatening conditions. We need to prioritize them over certain discharges and all those things. So looking at maternal emergencies, obstetric emergencies, trauma emergencies, and certain medical emergencies, those ones normally go higher. And also with babies, those ones take precedence.
The new lives. Definitely. So you mentioned the asthma, and it drew my mind to this question that, so someone having an asthma attack and then we call the ambulance service, does that mean that you would have an inhaler on standby?
Yeah, the ambulance have equipment known as the nebulizer.
Okay.
So the nebulizer, we have a medication called salbutamol or Ventolin. The salbutamol is the generic name, and the Ventolin is the trade name. So we, when you have an asthma, it means there's an accumulation of a mucus in the bronchus. So the asthmatic can easily breathe in, but when they are breathing out, it becomes a problem. So we need to nebulize you by giving the salbutamol. So maybe for an adult, we can give 5 milligrams.
Okay, I think let's hold on with the dosages before
we put the salbutamol inside. Then we can. We have to power it in the ambulance. So there's a socket in the ambulance that we power. We nebulize it. So for some time, the nebules it's in liquid form, but it will turn into vapor for the patient to inhale. And normally we let the asthma patient sit in like this. We don't let them lie because when they lie, they cannot breathe well. But when they sit, it enhances the air. So we elevate the head of the stretcher while they are sitting in the ambulance, and we can also give oxygen at the same time. So that is why it's better to pick an ambulance than a taxi. But a taxi might not have all this life-saving
that's true.
So basically, asthma. And if the person already have an inhaler, somebody who is an asthma, we advise that the person takes the inhaler. But if the person doesn't have inhaler anything, and when we get there, we will over and all doing those things.
So before we go to the community engagement, the question has escaped me, but I'll come back. Now, community engagement, how well are you able to go out to educate the public, and how is it going so far?
Okay, so as part of our mandate, we are also supposed to educate the public. Public sensitization is very key, because when knowledge is very key, because in Ghana here, when there's road traffic incident, we call them the bystanders. People rush. When they go there, some of them will take their mobile phones and start taking pictures, putting them on social media. Others too will go and be holding casualties and be moving them from the debris. Some of them, their neck are even track. So once you are doing it, you think you might be helping them, you are rather compromising. So because some of them does not have this basic knowledge in first aid, as a service, we've taken it upon ourselves that at every district level, we have been tasked to do first aid training for schools, churches. You go there, you educate them, you teach them basic first, and also lorry stations, as we have been doing. We go there, we do live demonstrations and all those things. We also go on radio and television, as we are doing today. We are going to do a demonstration. So we do all those sensitizations. I think about 2 weeks ago, we were at Presec, Legon, where we did some form of demonstration. So we do a lot of we have to, every region is doing it. So we need more of that kind of training. We also go to corporate institutions and teach them basic first aid. Sometimes we even give them certifications to show that you are an emergency first responder. So we do all those kind of training. So we are appealing to the general public. Anybody who wants training from us, they can contact
the numbers.
The numbers
and
also through Clock TV.
Yes.
So that we'll come and do. And when we come to the churches, we'll do it for free. We don't do schools and all those.
Right. I remember the previous question. So I wanted to ask that the layman may not know about how to access the ambulance service. Is this something you have to pay for?
Okay.
Or is free?
Okay, so thank you for this question. I think everywhere I go, these questions pop up, and I think it's good. You know, when it comes to the service, we operate two main services.
Okay.
We operate the emergency services and non-emergency services. So for emergency service, as I earlier indicated, road traffic incident, domestic sudden collapse, the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Energy, gives us fuel through GOR for those emergencies. But you know, we are an agency under a Ministry of Work, and we might not have we have inadequate budget finance. You understand? So definitely, what the government gives us, a time will come, there will be one or two delays, and the service too cannot sit aloof to say that because the government has not given us a more fuel. So when emergency happen, we don't have to respond. We do. So for other one like medical investigations, like MRI, CT scan, sometimes you go and you park the ambulance there for 5 hours, like you've chartered the ambulance. And those ones, you need to pay something for it. You understand? And also, when we are moving you from a lower facility to a higher facility, maybe from, let's say, Amasama into Kolebu, at least we ask you to support some form of fuel, or maybe from one region to the other. Maybe from, we are moving you from here, we take people to Hohoi, Keta, Kumasi, Tamale, and all those. Sometimes the distances are very huge, and we have charges based on distance travel and fuel per kilometer. You have to pay. But in some instances, some people, they don't really have the money. Families, it's true. They call on us. They need to move from Accra. They don't have the money. The service have strategic stock where we have to fall on so that we can send those people outside. But those ones, when we do, we can't come into the general public and say, oh, we send these people. It's our work. So we cannot really, but it's only the relatives that can attest to those facts. So sometimes when those things happen, we want the relatives to also come out. So the ambulance people send me.
I think we even have one comment here.
From them, but they only sometimes talk about when we take 1 or 2 monies from them. Then when there are success stories, they should also share
they should share that too. So have there been instances where maybe in Accra you're charging a flat rate of maybe 1,000 cedis, but
no, Accra cannot charge 1,000.
Oh no, it's just an example.
Okay, let me give you, for example, if you are going for a CT scan, maybe within a range of 100 to 200. Maybe in Tema can go around 300. So Accra, nobody can charge 1,000 Ghana.
Oh, I'm just asking that, like, let's say in Accra, ambulance services usually charge, maybe, it's just an example, 100,
for non-emergencies.
Yes, for non-emergencies. Yes. Then maybe I move to Kumasi and then I'm, you know, I need ambulance services and they are charging maybe 500. Is there, let's say, a coordinated amount that's designated for everything that you do?
Definitely. You know, in Accra, our distances are shorter. But when you move to Ashanti region, Central region, OT region, their distances are quite apart. So there will be variations in terms of the charges for support. But in terms of interregional transfer, maybe one region from Accra to Kumasi to Accra, we have a synchronized form of charges. But in terms because of the distance, it will vary.
Right. Okay, so still on support, do you have sponsors and things like that, external people coming to help you out? Okay,
so what I would say is, as a service, you know, we are being paid from the consolidated fund. So definitely, we need more support. The government of Ghana is doing it best. We even need in the future to operate what we call an air ambulance, where there's an emergency, we can airlift people. You know, it's done in other jurisdictions. When we go to UK, Canada, US, Germany, they have air ambulance. So we want the service to get to a stage where we can even operate with an air ambulance. So definitely, Libertos, we ask for more. We need more support from the general public. Churches and other NGOs and other donor funds can still support the service. Some of them are doing it, some donor partners are doing it, but we need more. We need more AEDs, we need more ventilators, we need more support when it comes to even oxygen and other things. We need more support so that we can run a lot of service. So anybody who would like to support the ambulance, our doors are open, and we definitely give you the proper recognition when it comes to that.
So if you'd like to support the ambulance service, please take note of the numbers displayed on the screen and then call them and discuss with them. Maybe you can call in and ask for PAMT Dr. Daniel Asare, and then you can speak with him. So let me take this comment. This one says, good work done to the team for this educative program. You always give us the best thing we have to know, and we do learn a lot in this program. Keep it out. And this is from Charles Ochre in Dakuman. Thank you so much for your comments. Now, this one says, loving this discussion, Yaira. Big respect to all emergency responders out there. You are heroes in uniforms. And this is from Nana. Then we also have... Okay, one more. Hello, Koko Digest. Great time having the Ghana Ambulance Service on board. Now, my question is about inadequate hospital facilities. How can the service, which often struggles to find available beds at hospitals, hindering their ability to provide timely medical care? Because this mostly happens at various government hospitals in Ghana, and this is from Ajiman in Kumasi.
Okay, I think it's a very good observation. Sometimes you go to major referral hospitals like Konfanochi, Kolebu, sometimes, and other receiving facilities. You know, Accra is a center, so we have a lot of advanced hospitals here. Sometimes you get to a hospital, sometimes when you call an ambulance, it's not because the ambulance doesn't want to. There are referral policies when under our guidelines. You don't move just ambulance just like that. You can go for the patient, but you get to the facility, they will tell you that there's no bed. We do sometimes even arrangement. By the time you get it, they said, oh, the bed has been given to another person, because we don't owe those beds. So we collaborate with Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health and other hospitals, even private hospitals, so that we'll be able to work in tandem to improve on the emergency service. Because sometimes we get there, our trolley, the one the patient lie on it, can even be detained.
Because
and once you move, there's no bed. And the hospital is not ready to take care of patient on the floor. That one, they never do it. Or even sit on the chair. It's against their rules. So once they move the bed out, it means the ambulance cannot go for any emergency. So I think this one, we are appealing to the government of Ghana to also help us in that regard, to get more stretchers. Though the service put those measures in place, sometimes we have to come to our stores to get one or two, or the workshop stretcher to send it back there for the patient to lie on it before, so that we can move. If not that, so we need more foldable stretchers, more beds and other things, and more ambulance, as I rightly said, so that we can solve the no-bed syndrome.
With that being said, do you think that it would be a good idea to set up some sort of makeshift clinics at the ambulance station, so that when you face situations like this, the closest ambulance station would be the best place to go and put this patient to receive some medical care? So like a small clinic just at your various stations. Is that a good idea?
Oh yeah, it's something, it's the life of the patient that is important. So any policy that will come from the service, or even the Ghana Health Service or Ministry of Health, that will help at the end of the day the patient get the utmost care. That one, we are for it. So anything that will help, even if in future for the service to get its own hospital, why not?
Wow.
We are glad to. So we are asking for infrastructure development when it comes to, in terms of clinic, even staff for the staff. We also need befitting accommodation so that we can respond quickly, the way they do for police service.
So the ambulance service does not have...
we need more. We need more to that. You understand?
Because we have police quarters and things like that.
So in future we also need ambulance quarters. All these things will help us so that we can work very well.
So I know that one of your challenges is also locating some of these points of emergency.
Definitely.
So I'd like to ask, how best can we, the citizens, when we call you, how best can we describe where we are so that you can immediately get there?
So sometimes when you call, sometimes those who have some of the like the ambulances, some of them have been mounted with GPS. So sometimes when you are able to get your Google location, it will enable us to trace exactly to your place. So when you call and sometimes you're able to give us the like if it's a family member is there or somebody is there who can we get your location, then we'll be able to use those GPS address and trace exactly.
Okay.
But some places too, they don't have those.
Yeah, like me, I'm using YAM. I've got
so
to call
those
you.
ones.
How would you?
So those ones, it makes our work difficult. Sometimes
Okay.
when we get there, we tell them when you hear the sound of the siren, you'll be able to. And you also have to use certain landmarks, like school, churches, markets, police stations, or post office. When you're able to give us those landmarks, we'll be able to get. But when you say somebody is selling, there's a tree, those things you get there, and the tree is broken or the woman didn't come.
Right.
This one will make it very difficult for us.
Okay, so yes, he says we should make use of landmarks. So if you cannot give GPS locations, make use of the landmarks. If there's a church, a school, a hospital around you, a big building that could be noted, easily noted, make use of that, use that to describe your location. We have one more comment, then we go for a break. So it says, good morning, Yara, great show. Please ask Dr. Asare, what should someone do while waiting for the ambulance to arrive? And I'm Charlotte Odaide from Kumasi.
Okay, so it depends on the emergency. For example, if the person has suddenly collapsed, and you check the pulse.
Okay, how do you check pulse?
The pulse, we can easily way of checking a pulse here. The pulse is the force that is felt when your heart is contracting.
Okay.
And anywhere an artery crosses over a bone, you have a pulse. So we can check this radial pulse here. If the patient have a pulse and maybe the person sugar level is down, the person has not eaten from morning to afternoon. So that one you can give anything sugar. If the person can swallow, you can give mash cake or then you give it to the person to drink. But if the person suddenly collapses and you check the pulse, the carotid pulse here, and it's not breathing, doesn't have a pulse, that one you have to do chest compression.
So the pulse is the boom boom that we
Yes. So your heart is working, so it's felt in the arteries.
Yes.
Yeah, against the arterial walls.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is what. So this is the commonest pulse. So if the person, after that, we can even put the person on the recovery position. But
so what's the recovery position?
Putting the person on the side.
On their side. Is it the left or the right?
It depends. Normally we put the patient on the left, but if you put it on the right, there's nothing wrong with that. So to enhance proper perfusion. But if the person have a cut and is bleeding, that one you need to control the bleeding. You can, if you have a handkerchief at home, you can improvise. But don't put entomago or dirty cloth on it.
That will
you can
cause
contaminate.
Yeah.
So you put it on it and apply direct pressure on it.
So direct pressure, so we press
on it to constrict the vessel so that it will not flow. If it's on the extremity, you can elevate above the level of the heart. Then you can control the bleeding and put the person in a sling. If you don't have a triangular bandage, you can use your scarf, the lady's scarf or bandana. You can improvise. You can even use your own shirt to tie. So when people have emergencies like bleeding control traffic, it's whatever you do to the person that will rather save the person. It's not about how fast you move. You can also even do splinting by using cardboard or a wood cardboard, normal cardboard. Splinting is making sure that you make the bones unmovable. And we splint to control bleeding. We also splint to realign the bones.
Is that the one they tie? Wood.
Or cardboard. But in the ambulance, we have the air splint or the vacuum splint. So that one is the advanced. But you might not have it. So you have to use cardboard or stick to mobilize. If not that, we have a lot of potholes in our road. The moment you go, the car will be, and the patient will be in pain. So we can also do these things to help. So all this one you have to be taken through training. Before you can do that.
So this question has drawn my mind to a lot of bad things that we tend to do, like pouring water on somebody who has just fainted. So I'd like you to clarify if it is good.
When somebody suddenly collapses, it depends on if the person have a pulse. One, you don't need to go and compress the chest of the person. If the person can talk, you ask the person what is wrong with you. That's when the person is conscious. Then the water that normally they pour on the person, it's a local remedy. Sometimes it works. The skin is a sensory organ, and it's the largest organ of the body. So as you are pouring the cold water, definitely certain nerves are being triggered in the brain. You understand? So when it happens like that, then the person can easily get up.
But that doesn't mean
and the force,
right?
and the force that and it's not the best practice. Though sometimes you do, and it works. But you need to find out whether the person's sugar level is low, so that you can even give anything sugar and let the person lie down and come back, or whether the person have a seizure and all those things. So depending on the emergency, but it's not all emergency that you start going around looking for water and be pouring on the person. And sometimes the way they throw the water, you can even hurt the person, the eyes and other things. So we need to desist. We will go on teaching the public on basic first aid. So that when something happens, you'll be able to do it before we come.
Thank you so much.
Before we conclude, what I want to on this part, what I want to say is ambulances does not carry the dead.
Yeah, I think there was a comment I was about to read that just said that. So he says some people believe that ambulances are only for the dead, or that being in an ambulance increases the likelihood of death. How accurate is this perception? For me, anytime I see ambulance, I see death. This is from Kojo Nsia.
Okay, so ambulances, I just want to clear the misconception some of the public have about ambulances. Ambulances are emergency vehicles, like a mobile hospital that have a lot of life-saving equipment. So once you call the ambulance, it means we will be able to come very quick
and then
take you. So it's a continuity of care. So we have something we call the golden hour rule. When you pick a patient, a trauma patient, within 1 hour the patient should go to the hospital. But can you be in a taxi 1 hour, you are bleeding, no oxygen on you, so you should be in the ambulance. Whilst we are putting oxygen on you, we set an IV line, put infusion on you, we control your bleeding. So it's like you are at the hospital but in a moving vehicle. So it's a continuum of care, because most of the people die a lot because they don't get immediate attention. So the ambulances are for carrying the sick and the injured, but not for the dead. But sometimes you'll be there, somebody will call you that we have somebody here, come and pick. No, we don't carry the dead. We carry those who are sick and injured, because once we use the ambulances to carry the dead, the public will lose trust in it, and they will not. Nobody will take a car that carry them because of people are afraid. And also, even if the person passes away in the ambulance, the paramedics, we don't declare somebody dead. You have to go to the hospital for the pathologist to clinically declare somebody dead. Though we have obvious signs to show that this patient is dead. The patient doesn't have a pulse. Patient is not breathing. We have done CPR. We used AED on the person. We've given atropine, adrenaline, all the emergency, but still the person is becoming cold. We have obvious signs, but still we cannot still declare the person dead. The person has to be examined by a qualified pathologist.
Thank you so much.
The public should have confidence in us and still call us. That's what I want to say.
Okay, so it's time for a quick break. When we come back, then the surprise will be there. Then I'll tell you all about it, and then we see what's happening. So stay tuned.
This is how we do. M-I-M-I, Divalish.
engage all stakeholders in meaningful discussions on labor policies, workers' rights, and current labor trends. In responding to these pressing needs, Clock TV introduces Walatu Walasa, a dynamic and engaging program dedicated exclusively to exploring the multifold realms of labor issues. This innovative program aims to provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Walatu Walasa seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse. My name is Edmond Akwe, your host of Walatu Walasa.
Hi music lovers, we are the Protagonist.
So get ready for an unforgettable music experience on our upcoming show, Happy Hour with the Clocksack Band.
We are bringing you a night filled with electrifying tunes, good vibes, and a whole lot of fun.
Whether it's singing along, dancing, or just soaking in the atmosphere, we have something for everyone. Expect surprise performances, exclusive behind-the-scenes stories, and a chance to connect with us like never before.
Don't miss out. So tell a friend to tell a friend.
And join us for Happy Hour.
Get ready to rock with us. Happy Hour with the Clocksack Band.
Say I don't wanna wait.
All those test spots like application to something like this. Yes. Oh, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's going to be able to draw level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
Clocksack says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not Clocksack speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of Clocksack versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
These pressing needs,
And you're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Koko Digest Morning Show, and we're having our main discussion, spending time with the ambulance service, and we're doing this with PAMT Dr. Daniel Asare from the ambulance service, and we've been discussing some of the challenges, some misconceptions, a lot about the ambulance service. And yes, before we went on the break, we had a comment here. This is to all of us. So this one says, my advice to all of us is that when we hear the sound of the ambulance service coming, we should all give them way, because at times some people refuse to do so. And this is from Charles Otchery. Now, the phone lines are also opened, so please do well to call and ask your questions. Yes, you can also send in your text via WhatsApp to our WhatsApp number displayed onto your screen, or onto our Facebook and YouTube live stream as well. Now, Doc, you mentioned something about CPR week. If you can tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so this week that's from the 1st of June to 7th. Worldwide CPR and AED week. And CPR is the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So
what about AED?
AED is automated external defibrillator. It's a machine that we have it in an ambulance. When somebody suddenly collapses, we use it on the person.
Right.
So when we do the demonstration, we'll show you. So we are using this week as a service across all the districts and regions. We are educating the public. We go to schools, market, and show them that when somebody suddenly collapses, the procedures that we are going to use to resuscitate the person. Because once you get immediate attention, your chance of surviving is higher than somebody who doesn't get any immediate attention. This week is all about talking about some of the causes of cardiopulmonary resuscitation and causes of cardiac arrest. Like if somebody suddenly collapse, it can be due to trauma. If you are in a vehicle moving, it hits, your heart can easily stop. If you have any underlying condition of high blood pressure, that's hypertension, you can also. And when you abuse a lot of opioids, like tramadol, fentanyl, petidine, they are controlled medication. Now people call something called red. Red, you understand?
Yeah.
So that one, when you abuse them a lot, it can also cause cardiac. And when you also have any underlying conditions like myocardial infarction, the muscles around your heart does not get oxygenated blood, it can also cause cardiac arrest. And once it happens, it's an emergency. It can happen to a baby, it can happen to a child or an adult. So it's something that we need to take care of. So when you get to the demonstration side, we'll be able to take us through.
So we have AEMT Fatilale and IEMT Pamela Oseusu and EMT Benjamin AJ Kobe on standby. They're going to be taking us through a demonstration on how to perform CPR. So let's get ready to learn. Take your notebooks and watch very attentively, because I have mine. So yes, let's get right into it.
So a scenario is they were having a program at the CLOSAC conference room, and one of the participants at the conference room
has collapsed,
suddenly collapsed, and once the person collapsed, we received a call at our dispatch center. So we dispatch the nearest ambulance. Here, the stadium ambulance is the closest. It takes care of the ministries and other. So once the call has been routed from our dispatch center, the ambulance suddenly move quickly and come to the scene at CLOSAC. So once we arrive, the team led by AEMT Fati. She is also the Greater Accra PR. So they will take care of the emergency. So they will take us through the scenario, because when it comes to this, they have to follow an acronym known as Dr. ABC. Danger, response, airway, breathing, and circulation. But when it comes to cardiopulmonary resuscitation, they go with CAB, which means the chest compression, airway, and breathing. So they'll take us through the procedure.
So a member of CLOSAC has fainted. We didn't pour water on the person. So he's there, and we're going to see how the ambulance service is going to try to save his life.
Good morning to our cherished viewers.
Yes.
We are here. It's a scenario though, but we want to speak. That's why we are slow. Otherwise, we'll come in a rush with all seriousness to come and take care of this. So we've come here, Dr. ABC. We are looking at danger. the whole place should be safe for us to be able to work here. So we come in looking around for safety. When we come and the place is not safe, it means we look for help to move the patient to a safe place, and then we take care of the person. We are also wearing our gloves. So normally we lift up our hands this way to show that we are protected from any infection. So we wear the gloves. Then now we come and then we are told, any bystander here, hello gentlemen, what happened? Then the person tells us that, oh, he just collapsed here, and then we call the ambulance. So immediately, because we know he collapsed, we have to go and check for response. So we use the shoulder. We tap for response. We don't know his name. So, gentleman, hello, sir. We are not hearing anything from him. So immediately, he doesn't respond with that. Then we check the pulse. Like Dr. Asari said, we check the carotid pulse. So we are going to check the carotid pulse, and then we will also look at whether the person is breathing. So the breathing is checked on the chest, and then we use the ear to feel and then listen to the sound and the, how do I say, the warmth of the breath from the mouth and then the nostril. So you go this way, all in the span of less than 10 seconds. We don't go beyond 10 seconds. So if we don't feel the pulse, we don't see the chest rising and falling, and we don't feel and we are not able to hear the person breathing, then it means that the person is in a cardiac arrest. So we want viewers to know how people should identify those in cardiac arrest. It's not any collapsed person that might be in cardiac arrest. So if you don't feel the pulse within that 10 seconds and see the breath, the chest rising and falling, or hearing it with your ear, the sound, and then even feeling the warmth on your cheeks whilst you listen, then it means the person is in cardiac arrest. So like I said, we did this in less than 10 seconds. We don't have to delay to do chest compressions. So we are going to do chest compression. We locate the nipple line, the two nipples here. Between them, there's a bone in the middle of the breast. Yes, there are some that is just flat, so you'll be able to locate it. But if you can't use the nipple line, just locate the bone in the middle and then look for the center that is between them, and then you place the palm of your heel, this side, on it with your the hand that is strong, that can push, and then one to support.
Okay, please, so, I have a question. So, in a situation where maybe it's a lady, you know, a lot of breasts, you flesh around, how do you undress the person and then try to...
Yes, so patients, how do we say it? You want to give patient privacy. So then they're not in public, but you can look for people around to surround the person. This person within 1 to 3 minutes, the person will start getting problems with the brain because the brain is not getting oxygen. Yeah. Within 5 minutes, the person's brain might die. So we don't have a lot of time to go and look for a room for the person. Okay. So we have to save the person's life. So the little privacy we can give to the person, we have to. Okay. So we can create a barrier or use if people can even kneel down and turn their backs while we are in the middle doing it. It will also be helpful. Right. The way, because it's in the middle of.
Okay. So, thank you.
Yeah. So we go on with our chest compression. We are going slowly because we want everybody to be able to do it. Wherever you are watching us, you should be able to know. You check the pulse, you look on the chest for rising and falling, and then you feel. So you go this way. Within 10 seconds, no breath, no pulse. So I'll start my chest compressions. My hand is placed in the middle, and then I interlock my hand. So this is how it goes. You straighten your elbow, you don't break it, and then you come closer to the patient. So we give 30 chest compressions, and then because the EMS is here, the ambulance service is here, we have our BVM here that we use to give the rescue breath. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so
have you seen the chest right?
We do 30 chest compressions, then we give 2 rescue
the
breaths.
chest right?
You go 5 cycles, 5 times. Then you check again to see whether the person's pulse has returned. So some people might be at home, they may not have the BVM. So someone may have a first aid box with this one in. We call it a mouth to barrier mask. You can put it on the patient and then you give the 2 rescue breaths through it so that you don't get in contact with the mouth. And you can even get, if you don't have anything at all, something plastic like this with a hole in the middle, or even a handkerchief where we can get air through for the person. You put it on it and then you breathe together on the nose and the mouth, and you breathe for the person 2 rescue breaths. Not too much, but you give as if the person is breathing on his or her own. Okay, we'll see here. We'll see. So she is giving the rescue breath as we are seeing. So now we are on with the chest compression. We're talking about CPR and we said AED. So we have the AED here, the automated external defibrillator. So this is a machine that looks for the rhythms of the heart and looks for the right rhythm to give a shock to, especially when a patient is in cardiac arrest. The rhythms of the heart changes from normal when someone is in cardiac arrest. So when the person is in cardiac arrest and we are here and we start chest compression, our AED is always with us. So whilst we are doing it, then one of the team members will be applying the parts. When the machine starts working, it takes over and starts giving us instructions. So let's listen to how it works. After that, we'll do it seamlessly for us to see how it goes.
Child mode. Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows. Adult mode. Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows. Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows.
So this is an artificial.
So when we connect, the machine takes over. It will tell us analyzing. This is a mannequin, so there's no way it can feel or even sense the rhythm of the heart here, so we will not hear anything. If it were to be training, we would have seen it. So it will tell us analyzing. When the AED is analyzing, everybody must be clear of the patient. No bagging, no chest compressions, because it is now looking for a rhythm to shock. So when it's able to find a shockable rhythm, it tells us shock advice. Then a red button here, the light here comes on, and then it gives us a sign. We press it and the patient is shocked. So it shocks you like the way electricity shocks someone. That's why we have to move, because we are alive, but he...
The one we see in the movies where they
the same
clear.
Thing.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
we do have some in the ambulance too.
Right.
So maybe next time we'll bring that one here so you come and shock the person for you to see how it is.
Sure.
So we are going to go quickly through it, come and do our assessment, and then we do the chest compression, and then 5 cycles and we are done. So let's go. So we are coming back to the scenario. This time Ben will take over the chest compression.
Right.
Attach the pads to the patient as the patient.
All right, so we have arrived at scene. Check.
Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows.
Okay.
There's no pause. I'll check whether the person is breathing.
Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows.
Count.
Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows. Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows. Attach Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows. Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows.
So now the machine is saying analyzing, we are assuming. So clear, I'm clear, we are clear. So we are waiting. Then after analyzing, when it finds a rhythm that is shockable, it says shock advice. That one to clear, I'm clear, we are all clear. Then I press the shock button, shocks the patient. Immediately the shock is over, we continue with our chest compression. Okay. We go for 5 cycles, 30 times 5, then 2 breaths, 2 breaths, 2 breaths, then 5 cycles. We check for pulse again to see whether the person's pulse has returned.
Right.
All right, check pulse. So we are assuming we've done the 5 cycles, 30 by 2, 30 by 2. We check for pulse. Thankfully, he has pulse.
Oh, great.
So when the person is having pulse, we turn the person to the recovery position. That's the left side or the right side, so that the person's tongue will not fall back and block the airway. If there's any fluid through, it will pass through the side of the mouth and come out. So we are turning the patient to the recovery position.
Attach the pads to the patient as the picture shows.
On the side slowly, and then we continue with care. We look for what caused the cardiac arrest. We have something called the H's and T's. They are all conditions. So if we find any of them, we start treating them whilst we send the person to the hospital. We don't end it at the scene because the person is alive.
Right. Thank you so much. So we have a question before you go to the baby. This one says, "Hi, good morning. I'm enjoying the show so far. Thumbs up. This is very educative. I want to ask, how do you do this demonstration on a kidney patient? What are the things to consider? Looking at some people having some medical conditions, what do you look out for to be careful about? And if you don't have the necessary basic equipment, what do you do?"
Okay.
Yes, Doc, will you take it?
So when it comes to cardiac arrest, it means you are clinically dead.
Okay.
But not biologically dead. It means your heart has stopped working. You know, there's a portion of the heart known as the SA node that generates electrical impulses. So once that portion goes off, it means you are clinically dead. But when we get immediate intervention, you can come back. That's why we start with the chest compression. Yes. Your heart is the engine. So once the heart goes off, it means you are almost on your way to your grave. And it's better to be alive with a broken ribs than to die with a fresh ribs. You understand? So once you even have other complications like with CPR, you can vomit, you can have a rib fracture. Those ribs can be repaired by the orthopedic surgeon once you come alive. But if we don't do it vigorously, hard and fast, because the about 5 centimeters deep, you avoid it. So you push hard and fast. So once the person comes back, the other medical conditions will be taken care of. You understand?
Okay. So even if, let's say, Frimpong lying down there had kidney issues, it does not matter.
Yeah, because now the heart is what
working.
No, the heart is what we want to resuscitate. Because if your heart goes off, it means you will go. Yeah, you go. So we concentrate on how to revive you first.
Okay.
Then the other conditions that you have, the kidney and other ones. Though kidney too is a very vital organ of the body. You understand? But if the heart is working, it can pump blood to the kidney and the liver and all those things. So the emphasis is to revive you.
Okay.
Because once your heart doesn't come back, it means you can go into biological death. All your brain cells will go. So there will be a lot of complications when it comes to CPR. So when you don't have the gadgets, as they were demonstrating, you can only do what we call hands-only CPR, where you do all the compressions without giving rescue breath, because the emphasis is mostly on the compression. So you concentrate on the compression, and once medical help arrive, they will take over, because you will not have the back valve mask to use. So you can get a handkerchief and that you can blow air into it, so that you avoid mouth-to-mouth rescue breath.
Okay, so let's get into part 2 of the demonstration. I'm learning a lot here. Frimpong is on his way back to vital health. Our cables man. Right, let's get back into it.
All right, so we are now going to look at the infant CPR.
Okay.
But before that, we want to introduce our CPR machine.
Okay.
There are times where we pick a patient and en route, the person goes into cardiac arrest. Mostly we are forced to stop the ambulance and do the chest compressions and do CPR there. But because of this machine, we can fix it on the patient whilst en route.
Okay.
Especially for a long journey. And then it will be doing the chest compressions and helping us to know when to do the, give the rescue breath, because it will count on its own. And then when it's time for the breath, it allows us to do the rescue breath. So this is how it works. It works 30 to 2. So the 30 we did, it will stop at 30. And we will give the breath and it will continue. And it can also do the continuous CPR. That is what Dr. Asari was just saying, that if you don't know how to give the rescue breath, you are not confident, just hands only is okay. So the machine can also do hands only. There are times when we are also trained to do intubation at the advanced level. So when we pick a patient and at the point the airway is too compromised and we have to intubate, when we do intubation, we put this on it to continue CPR, and then we will be continuing with the bagging without any interruption.
Okay.
We get to the first.
Please clarify intubation for us and our viewers.
Okay, so intubation is it's an advanced airway management where we place a tube that will get into the trachea of the individual, get into the lower airway. You know, the nose and the mouth are so close up. But when you get to the trachea and it's going down into the lungs, the bronchioles, it's down. So we may want to get into the trachea. So we put the tube in with a device we call the laryngoscope. So we open it, and then it is an advanced airway management that you have to practice a lot to be able to do. So we have been trained to do that at advanced level. So when it becomes critical, the person's airway, when we do all the basic airway maneuvers, putting in the adjunct and it's not working, then we do the intubation, we place it in. Mostly when someone goes for surgery, they do intubation at the theater. They put the tube.
So Ms. Anderson is also asking if it's necessary to get some of these machines in our various homes. Do we need them in our homes too?
Yeah, the machines.
Yes, something like the CPR.
Those machines can also, you can get it from the market, but you have to be trained on how to use it, like the AED, then the CPR machine. So even schools, shopping malls, they need this kind of machines.
Okay, so one last interruption. So this one says, wow, I have developed an interest in this job. How can someone apply? And this is from Charles Ochiri.
With this one, unless there's recruitment from the Ministry of True Ambulance Service.
Okay, but so maybe you can be a volunteer.
No, but you can also be trained.
Okay.
Whilst it's not only working with the ambulance service, you can also work with other private hospitals and other places.
Can this person come to ambulance service?
Yeah, we train people. Okay. We train corporate institutions. We give them certificates. So not only working with ambulance service, but if you want to work with a private hospital or even other public hospitals, they need the services of EMTs, other oil companies, mining industries. You can come for the training with ambulance service, and you can also get job from.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So contact the ambulance service and see how best you can arrange your training. So let's get back into saving Frimpong's life and baby James's life.
All right. So we are going to look at the 30-2 chest compression. So it has started the chest compression.
Right.
It will stop at 30.
Hey.
It's automated. There's battery inside.
Technology is really advanced.
So it's doing the work for you, man.
So 30. After 2 breaths, it has started again.
Okay.
So we do it for us. So we get a 5 cycle and we stop it. Or maybe we've been able to intubate the person, yes, now we are professionals, so we've intubated the person. So we want to do the continuous one. So it will do it continuously. 30, it will pass 30 because mostly we need 100 to 120 chest compressions per minute if you are doing hands only. So we can do that and continue until we tell the machine to stop.
Okay, so the way people, when we use our hand, sometimes you can cause a fracture. Is the machine also likely to give you a fracture?
It may. That's if your bones is weak. It depends on the bone the person has.
Okay.
So, yes, that's it for. So we quickly go through
baby James, yes.
So, baby is here. Mostly babies go into respiratory arrest. And so immediately they are not breathing. It means that there's an alarm. We can start the chest compression, not waiting to go and check their pulse first. But mostly, because it's a sequence, you can still check if you are not a professional. So you check your baby's carotid pulse. So carotid pulse, to locate it, you look for this, how do we say, they call it the Adam's apple.
Yeah.
So on it, sit on it and go either left or right slowly. You feel your pulse there beating. When you quietly remain there for some time, you feel the pulse there for adults and then for baby. So the baby, when I came in, my baby is not breathing. The baby is not having pulse. So what am I going to do? I've been trained, or I've been trained and I've watched. Let me try if I can do it. So there's something we call the encircling, finger encircling. We put 2 thumbs on the chest where we located the adult's chest, the breastbone between the 2 nipples. That's the same place. So we go with our fingers, our 2 fingers, and then we encircle this way.
Okay.
Yes. Or we use 2 fingers like this on the chest, the same area this way, and we press 30 times, and then we give rescue breath. So this is for someone who is a lay person, who doesn't know how to do, who is not trained to give rescue breath. Just do the chest compressions with your 2 hands or the encircling one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So this is my baby. I'm comfortable to give rescue breath. So I cover the mouth. I put my mouth around the nose and the mouth together because they are small. And then, so I give the 2 rescue breaths and then continue with that. If the second one, I want to use the 2 thumbs, 2 fingers to, I do it for the 30 times.
Okay.
But now, EMS is here. We have our tools here which we can help. So we put the baby in the middle, and then she will take over the airway. Then he will take over the chest compression. Then I will use the AE. Okay. So he will do, because we are many, he will do 15 chest compressions. Then she will give 2 rescue breaths. For the infants, that one 15 too, because they are 2, and I'm even here to place the AED parts on it.
Okay.
When we get to the AED parts, because they are small, we don't have enough space here. So we put 1 part in front and then 1 behind. We don't put both parts on the chest. So 1. So this is how the AED will instruct us to place the parts. So when we place the parts on the baby like this, then it can tell us analyzing 1 in front, up, and then 1 down.
Okay.
Then we do that. We wait for analyzing, we clear, we wait for shock advice, we clear, we shock, and then we continue with chest compression for 5 cycles and check for pulse and see if our baby is up. And thankfully our baby is also up.
Thank you so much for saving the lives of Frimpong and baby James. Thank you so much. This has been very, very educative. Thank you so much, Doc. Also, I would like to take your last words, then we wrap up quickly.
I want to use this opportunity to thank the CEO of the ambulances, Professor Ahmed Zakar, and the Public Relations Officer, Mr. Simon Kira, for giving us this opportunity to come and talk to the public. And also Clock TV always giving us this laborious time to have this kind of discussion. We are so much grateful. What I want to say is the public should have confidence. When they call the ambulance because we have a lot of skills that we can use to save a life. So anytime they are in danger, they shouldn't hesitate, but they should have the confidence, the tenacity to call the ambulance service.
Yeah.
Once they call, definitely help will arrive, because we always say timely care saves lives. We thank them for listening to us.
Thank you too. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all for watching. We hope to see you again on Tuesday morning bright and early. Do have an amazing weekend ahead, and of course, happy Eid to all our Muslim brothers and sisters worldwide.
Clog TV, beyond the policy.